Game 2 of the Canada-Soviet series, coming to you live from Toronto. Brought to you by Toronto Dominion Bank, the bank where people make the difference. By Gulf Oil Canada Limited, dealers, agents, and distributors across Canada.
Hello again, everybody. This is Johnny Eason. I can't help but recall the vivid contrast of 2 years ago as we awaited Game 2 in this series. This time, the whole country is buzzing with the excitement of our opening game because it proved a lot of things. Notwithstanding age, this team is ready, mentally and physically, so we're in for a whale of a series. Billy Harris has made only one change, and to find out about it, let's go up to Don Chevrier and Howie Maker. And Don, make sure that Howie has his seatbelt on. I almost lost him on Tuesday night.
I might lose him tonight, too, if it's the same kind of game, Johnny. That change, of course, involves Mark Tardif being not dressed tonight and the insertion of young Mark Howe in the lineup. Now, what about the Russians? What changes can we expect from them?
Well, I think, in fact, I know Team Canada took a lot of their game plan away with their hitting in Quebec Tuesday night. To reestablish their skating and their passing game, the Russians have to come out hitting. And if they do, we got another barn burner here in Maple Leaf Gardens tonight, so let's go.
Okay, right now let's check in with Tom McKee.
Good evening, everybody. I'll be talking to a variety of people here in Maple Leaf Gardens tonight. Bobby Hull at the end of the first period, the coach Billy Harris at the end of the second. We'll also be talking to some of the fans in the stands around us here as well, and of course the most valuable players at the end of the game. Now here again is Johnny Eason.
2 years ago, the second game was one of the best games ever played, and we could very well be in for another one like it tonight. This is Game 2 of the Canada-Soviet series from Toronto.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash.
K-Tel presents the fabulous Johnny Cash today, 24 of his greatest hits.
I fell into a burning ring of fire.
The very beautiful.
If I were a carpenter and you were a lady.
And of course,
Understand you, old man, I'm tired of your bad mouth.
get Johnny Cash today, 24 of his greatest hits, plus a free 8x10 photo, $4.99 from K-Tel. Tape or cassette, $6.99.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second game of the 1974 series between the national team of the Soviet Union and the Team Canada 74. Bonsoir, mesdames, messieurs, et bienvenue à cette deuxième rencontre de la série 1974 entre l'équipe nationale de l'Union soviétique et équipe Canada 74. And now, here are the two teams that played such an astounding game in Quebec City on Tuesday night. Et maintenant, la présentation des joueurs de ces deux équipes qui nous ont offert un spectacle intéressant mardi soir dernier à Québec. First, d'abord, the coaches. Head coach Boris Kulagin. Ses adjoints, his assistants, Konstantin Loktev and Vladimir Yosinov. For Team Canada, pour équipe Canada, head coach Billy Harris. Le gérant, the manager, Bill Hunter. In goal for the Soviet Union, dans les filets pour l'Union soviétique, le numéro 20, number 20, Vladislav Tretьяк. Le numéro 1, number 1, Alexander Sidelnikov. Their counterparts from Team Canada. La contrepartie pour équipe Canada. Number 30, le numéro 30, Jerry Chivers. And number 1, le numéro 1, Don McLeod. En défense, for the Soviet side, à la défensive pour l'URSS, le numéro 2, number 2, Alexander Gusev. Number 3, le numéro 3, Vladimir Lutchenko. Number 5, le numéro 5, Yuri Latkin. Number 6, le numéro 6, Valery Vassiliev. Number 7, le numéro 7, Gennady Tsygankov. Number 12, le numéro 12, Viktor Kuznetsov. Number 36, le numéro 36, Yuri Fyodorov. The Canadian defense, la défensive canadienne. Number 2, le numéro 2, Rick Lee. Number 3, le numéro 3, Jean-Claude Tremblay. Number 6, le numéro 6, Brad Selwood. The captain of the team, le capitaine de l'équipe, number 12, le numéro 12, Pat Stapleton. Number 17, le numéro 17, Rick Smith. Number 18, le numéro 18, Paul Schmier. The Soviet forwards, les avants soviétiques. Number 13, le numéro 13, Boris Mikhailov, le captain. Number 11, le numéro 11, Yuri Lebedev. Number 10, le numéro 10, Alexander Maltsev. Number 24, le numéro 24, Alexander Bodunov. Number 16, le numéro 16, Vladimir Petrov. Number 22, le numéro 22, Vyacheslav Anisin. Number 8, le numéro 8, Sergei Kapustin. Number 29, le numéro 29, Sergei Kotov. Number 19, le numéro 19, Vladimir Shadrin. Number 15, le numéro 15, Alexander Yakушев. Number 17, le numéro 17, Valery Harlamov. Le Canadian forwards, les avants du Canada. Number 4, le numéro 4, Mike Walton. Number 5, le numéro 5, Régent Houle. Number 7, le numéro 7, André Lacroix. Number 11, le numéro 11, Mark Howe. Number 14, le numéro 14, Ralph Backstrom. Number 19, le numéro 19, Paul Anderson. Number 20, le numéro 20, Bruce McGregor. Number 21, le numéro 21, Serge Bernier. Number 23, le numéro 23, Johnny McKenzie. Number number 27, le numéro 27, Frank Machowicz. Number 16, le numéro 16, Bobby Hull. Number 9, le numéro 9, Gordie Howe. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand for the playing of the national anthem of the Soviet Union and remain standing for the playing of O Canada. Mesdames, Messieurs, voulez-vous vous lever pour l'interprétation de l'hymne national de l'URSS, suivra immédiatement l'hymne national au Canada. As you can see, 3 copies of the Ken Danby print at the crease are presented by Canadian players to their Soviet counterpart. This is a symbolic presentation. Each player will receive a copy of the print.
This is Game 2 of the Canada-Soviet series from Toronto.
Good evening. So, Poe, what fiendish contraption have you devised to pit me against this time?
The pendulum. The principal weapon in a game of deadly accuracy I call pendulum pull. Play.
Butt out. I win. Pay off, Poe.
Seize him.
Master, look, I no longer cook it. How can I ever thank you?
Forget it.
Pendulum Pool by Aurora.
Believe me, when we light the Olympic torch on this site in 1976, everyone will share in Canada's pride. You and I can help participate in Canada's first Olympic Games and make them a great success by buying these beautiful sterling silver Olympic coins. 7 sets of 4 coins each are being issued. Series 2 is available now. Order your coins today. The minting is limited. Olympic coins are available at banks, financial institutions, and authorized coin distributors.
At this time, Mr. George Stewart, Executive Vice President of the Carling O'Keefe Brewing Company, will make a special presentation to Mr. Lou Lefebvre, President of the National Sport and Recreation Center in Ottawa. Maintenant, nous faisons appel à M. George Stewart, vice-président exécutif de la brasserie Carling O'Keefe, qui fera une présentation spéciale à M. Lou Lefebvre, président du Centre national des sports et de la récréation à Ottawa.
Mr. Lefebvre, please accept this original art of the official poster signed by all of the members of the team as a memento of the second Canada-Russia series. We are very proud to be associated with Hockey Canada, as we think it is a truly Canadian effort. Veuillez accepter cette pièce d'art originale de l'affiche officielle comme souvenir de la deuxième série entre la Russie et le Canada. Nous sommes fiers d'être associés. Nous nous souhaitons à tous les meilleures chances. We will join everyone now in wishing Team Canada the very best.
Thank you. On behalf of Team Canada, I of course wish to thank Carling O'Keefe for this presentation, and I'd like to assure you that it will find a special place among the sport art collection at the National Center for Sport and Recreation. Je tiens à remercier la Fondation et Sport O'Keefe pour cette présentation, et je veux les assurer qu'elle trouvera une place tout à fait spéciale parmi les objets d'art sportifs au Centre de sport et récréation. Merci.
Ladies and gentlemen, the present series involves the three partners: the Canadian Amateur Hockey Association, the World Hockey Association, and Hockey Canada. Mr. Lou Lefebvre, as chairman of the International Committee of Hockey Canada, will officiate at the face-off together with Mr. Valery Sich, Chief Winter Sports Committee in USSR. Joining them are the Honorable Mitchell Sharp, President of the Privé Council in Ottawa, and Mr. Georgy Rogulski, Vice Chairman of the USSR Sports Committee, and also Mr. John Bassett Jr. of the Toronto Tours. Mesdames, Messieurs, cette présente série met en présence l'Association canadienne de hockey amateur, l'Association mondiale de hockey et Hockey Canada. M. Lou Lefebvre, en tant que président du Comité international de Hockey Canada, par la mise au jeu en compagnie de M. Valery Sich, responsable des sports d'hiver en URSS. Avec eux, nous reconnaissons M. Mitchell Sharp, président du Conseil privé du Canada, M. Georgy Rogulski, qui est vice-président du Comité des sports en URSS, ainsi que M. John Bassett Jr., président des Taureaux de Toronto de l'AMH. To mark this occasion, the twin sons of Coach Billy Harris, Bobby and Billy, will present mementos to members of the official party. Les fils jumeaux de l'entraîneur Billy Harris, Bob et Billy, remettront les souvenirs de cette série à ses dignitaires. And may the best team win, et que la meilleure équipe gagne. Spasiba.
Well, these are the commemorative pucks that the official party will receive as their memory of this night here in Toronto, Game 2 of the 1974 series, presented by Bobby and Billy Harris, the twin sons of Team Canada coach Bill Harris. Howie, let's look at some individuals coming up tonight. We've got Mark Howe playing, and of course the hardworking Andre Lacroix.
Well, Howe was Rookie of the Year in the World Hockey Association last year, and for a teenager, he's just an amazing hockey player. Lacroix, a wizard with the stick and the puck, added checking to his game Tuesday night, and it certainly helped.
And a couple of prominent Soviet players, Alexander Gusev, number 2, and Alexander Maltsev, number 10.
I think the big fella on the left, number 2, Gusev, is by far their best defenseman. He's big, strong, smart, got a great shift, and he can be mean and shoot the puck. Maltsev can fly. He's a tremendous playmaker and a good checker.
Well, the other night on the first game in Quebec, the man on the left, Rejan Houle, had some great scoring chances. The man on the right got some penalties, Paul Schmier.
Well, Houle, his check in Hermanov Tuesday, I think is the talk of the hockey world, and he had, as you said, 2 great scoring chances, and he skates very well. Schmier plays the point in the power play, tough in front of the net, moves the puck well.
All right, the referee tonight is Tom Brown of Canada, the linesman, Valentin Nikolsov of Russia, and Doug Robb of Canada. The Canadian team is going to start with Serge Bernier coming out to center ice. Toole on the right side, Mahowlich on the left. For the Soviet Union, it is Petrov at center on the face-off, winning it. And Mahowlich plays it ahead on the center ice zone. Number 6 is Vasiliev. Across the ice it goes to Gusev. Harlamov, the dangerous Valery Harlamov, number 17, drops it into the middle, and it goes out of play in the first 15 seconds here of Game 2 at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. How about the ovation they gave Gordie Howe at the outset? Standing ovation here. Tremblay 3 and Stapleton 12 are the Team Canada defensemen. This is Pat Stapleton now in the corner, being tied up by Mikhailov. Along the boards, works it free to Frank Mahowlich. Canada trying to work that puck out. Over on this side for Mahowlich, having trouble. Gets it out to center now. Houle feeding it ahead to Bernier. Bernier getting set. He shoots wide. Tremblay controlling it on the point, but the Russians bring it right back out to center ice. J.C. Tremblay gives it to center Serge Bernier, number 21, in behind Jerry Chivers in goal. Stapleton. Mahowlich at center ice. Right side for Rejan Houle. Cutting in front. Bernier shoots and puts that hangs on. First good scoring chance of the game, and again, Tretjak had the answer.
I think you have to watch this great pass here that Mahowlich made, and then here, watch the Russian defense. When we get this replay for you, they just turned and let Bernier go right through the middle. Look at here. Bernier's home free and skated right between the Russian defense.
From the face-off, Tsygankov plays it around beside his goal to the far boards to Alexander Yakashev. Yakashev getting it across the line, a late pass. The Soviets fail to keep it in. On the left side, here comes Mike Walton across the Soviet line. Walton shooting, blocked by Tretjak. Bruce McGregor, a centering pass. Rick Smith has it now. Behind the goal for Mike Walton. Walton put it out in front at number 15. Yakashev was there to break it up for the Soviet Union. Now on the right side, this is Maltsev. Maltsev works the corner against Schmier. Far side it goes. Yakashev away from McGregor. Passing it back, plays whistle down. Is going to be the first penalty of the hockey game.
I think what really you should be looking for here, Tarasov in his book said that the Russians pass with deceit, which means they don't look where they're passing. And already I've seen 2 passes. One just made here, this pass right here made out of the corner by their great left winger, Yakashev, was a blind pass, and Hermanov right off the top of the game made a blind pass. If the Russians continue to make that type of pass, we should get quite a few breaks from it.
The Team Canada penalty, the first of this game, is going to go to Rick Smith. And the announcement is being made now.
Rick Smith.
Back on the point,
2 minutes
this is
for
Ley-Селвуд.
elbowing.
It's an elbowing penalty. Tsygankov slap shot. That is blocked. Team Canada now shorthanded. Bobby Hull with Lacroix and Stapleton out to kill the penalty. Bobby Hull rags that puck and shoots it down the ice into the Russian zone. This is Yuri Lepkin, number 5.
Okay.
Yakashev inside the blue line. Drops it back for Maltsev. Maltsev waiting to make his play around behind the goal. Back on the point. Lepkin's shot blocked by Jerry Chivers. J.C. Tremblay comes up with it. Clears to the line. Held in by Tsygankov. Loose puck bouncing around there. And Chivers has it and hangs on.
watch this great play by Chivers. He really juggles it. That puck is hot. If he hadn't come up with it, look at the big left winger right there. Hey, look at the action in front of that net. Oh, we got something going. You're not going to stand in front of that net too long tonight.
Yakuşev waiting there to pounce on it, but Chivers held on. And now Canada with 1:12 left in Rick Smith's penalty. Bruce McGregor on the face-off right to Chivers, and he'll hold once more. That Soviet power play is devastating. May take them a full 1:59 to make it productive, but they quite often do. Team Canada digging in now. Back on the right side, Vasilyev's shot on the point was handled off to the corner. Gusev plays it down, broken up by Paul Henderson, and shot down the ice for Team Canada. 55 seconds remaining in Smith's penalty now. This is Gusev. Right side pass for Petrov in the center ice area for the Soviet Union. With Harlamov across the line, takes his own pass. Back to Harlamov. Gusev getting set. Drifts it in front, wide. Trombley leaving it for Henderson. Now for Pat Stapleton, golfing it around the boards. The Soviets cannot hang on. It's beyond Vasilyev and back across center ice. 25 seconds left now in Rick Smith's penalty. Down goes number 60, no call. Petrov. 17 is Harlamov on the right side. Hits the Canadian line. Offside was number 16, Petrov. Great action here. Great tension here for Game 2 in Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Team Canada will change now with 17 seconds to go in the Rick Smith penalty. Gordie Howe is coming out. Mark Howe will be on the left side. Back, Mark Howe will take the face-off. The defense pair remains. Stapleton 12 and Trombley 3. For the Soviets, number 22, Anison lost the draw. Mark Howe playing it inside the Soviet blue line. Now about 10 seconds left in Smith's penalty. Left side, the Soviets start out at center ice. Anison inside the Team Canada line. Stapleton over on the left boards. Held in by Lutchenko. His shot. That was blocked in front by J.C. Trombley. Smith is out. The teams are back at full strength once again. With about 4 minutes gone here in period 1 of Game 2, there is no score. Bodenoff, number 24, bodied there by Ralph Backstrom. Stapleton with Gordie Howe inside the line, broken up by number 3, Lutchenko. Now this is Anison, number 22 for the Soviets. Anison with Lebedev. In front of the goal, a shot just wide. The backhander by Lebedev going just wide of that goal post. Mark Howe. Pat Stapleton. Up to Mark Howe. Cross to Ralph Backstrom ahead to number 9, Gordie Howe. Backstrom cruising in front of Mark Howe. He scores! Backstrom!
By Howe. Just a tremendous pass by Gord to his son. And look at here. And again, the key here is Backstrom skated between the Russian defense. No one made a stick on it.
A picture goal, Howie, with the score, Canada 1 and the Soviets nothing. This is Game 2 from Toronto.
Это банк, где люди составляют разницу.
Ralph Backstrom and the two Howes give Canada a 1-0 lead. Less than 5 minutes into the opening period here at Maple Leaf Gardens in Game 2. Now here's Backstrom again, working inside the Soviet line. Number 5, Ляпкин digs it free and gets it out to center ice. This is Shadrin, 19, turned around, shot handled by Chivers. Bumping in the corner for it. The near boards, Backstrom trying to get it free. Finally comes out across the blue line. Maltsev covering up with a rink-wide pass across to number 5, Ляпкин. Right side pass missed for the Soviets. Played cagily by Mark Howe. Then he lost the puck. Back to Brad Selwood. Rejan Houle, number 5. Ricky Lee, number 2. Selwood and Lee, the Team Canada defense pair right now. Markow, ringside across to Bernier. Into Rizan. Who behind him, still there. Rebound, and it's stopped by Tretьяк. The puck was just an inch behind him, and now they're roughing it up in front of the Soviet goal.
Once again, Canada gets a 2-on-1 break. Look at here, just a tremendous pass, but it couldn't hang on to it. Hit the heel of a stick and slid off. Now look at Tretьяk hold his feet. Tretьяk had tremendous discipline here to stay on his feet, and again in front of that net, the elbows and sticks are flying. Here's the pass off the heel of the stick. Just too bad he couldn't keep it up in the center of the stick, and maybe we'd have had a real good play on that Tretьяk. As it was, he made a good save. Look at that check.
Soviets break out now. Number 16, Petrov to Harlamov. It is offside of the Team Canada blue line. Yes, Howie, very nearly a 2-0 hockey game. They've played about 5.5 minutes, and Team Canada has the 1 goal scored by Backstrom from the 2 halves. 4:31 was the time. Bernier wins the faceoff, as Canada has done rather consistently throughout this series. Vasiliev. Bernier picks it up, gave the puck away to Harlamov. Look out, he's shot wide. Right side, chance for Petrov. Across the left boards for Gusev. Keeps it in. Hull lost his stick and then gets some help. Finally cleared out to center ice to Frank Mahowlich. The Soviets pounce on him, and Mikhailov comes up with it. It is called offside right there at the Team Canada blue line, with now 6 minutes gone in a 1-0 game in favor of Team Canada. There's 13, Boris Mikhailov, a veteran of this USSR national hockey team. The Soviet commentator there is Nikolai Ozerov. He works right from rinkside in every arena in which he broadcasts. There he is down alongside the Soviet bench here in Maple Leaf Gardens. Bobby Hull, after the face-off, a little entanglement there, and they whistle it down again, offside. What a game Bobby Hull put in Quebec City on Tuesday. 2 goals, 1 assist. He leads all scorers in this series. Billy Harris, the man who put this team together, must be feeling very satisfied right now in the very early stages of the second summit confrontation. Number 29 is Kotov for the Soviet Union. Being checked by Johnny McKenzie. Gets it ahead to Kapustin. Kapustin shot right on, and Chivers holds it for a faceoff.
Bobby Hull losing the stick here. Bobby Hull was on the fly, but watch this fella shoot the puck with a wrist shot. Right at Chivers, but Chivers closed the hole between his legs as he went down and come up with it.
Kuznetsov, another drive directly on Chivers. And he's taking no chances, Howie. He will not give that puck away. He'll hang on every time. As the Soviets are buzzing around the net. There is the coach of the USSR, Boris Kuligin. Konstantin Loktev and Vladimir Yurzanov are his 2 assistant coaches. Now, from the faceoff, up the boards, Bobby Hull works it across the Team Canada blue line. Kotov comes up with it, a pass to Maltsev. Left side relay for Kapustin. Now Bobby Hull with it. J.C. Tremblay as the Soviets change on the go. Out comes number 10, Maltsev, across the blue line. Getting set, his shot. Kicked out by Jerry Chivers all the way back to center ice. Lutchenko to Kuznetsov. It's tangled up there on the boards with Lacroix, one of the big diggers in this series for Team Canada. Real hustling center, number 7. Now Sergei Kapustin. Missed a check there. Swings it away inside the line for Kotov, too far. Tremblay behind his goal to Bobby Hull. Hull, right side for Johnny McKenzie. With Lacroix and Tremblay ahead to Lacroix inside the line. Stick check there by number 5. Held in. Bobby Hull looking for a pass out. Can't get it away. Canada putting more pressure on the USSR. Tremblay in the Soviet corner. Lacroix shot. Missed the chance. A pass behind Kapustin, but now he breaks out with it. Lead pass to Maltsev. Maltsev taken down. They carry on with Kotov. Centering it across. Backhander blocked by Chivers. Rebound. He'll hang on again.
Here it comes again, and a good pass. but this one here is into the Russians' feet. Now, I think what you should be looking for is look at the number of times that the Russians are making bad passes behind the pass receiver and also into the pass receiver's feet. Something has to be doing that, and I think the Canadian body, has a little.
Number 11, Lebedev, gets it in front, a chance for Shadrin. Finally picked up by Paul Henderson, who got it across, but not out of his own zone. The Soviets keep it in. Shadran's shot goes around the boards wide. But now Team Canada begins to move up. Here's Paul Henderson. Right side, he has Walton. The shot to the corner. Controlled by number 5, Ляпкин. The Soviets come out. Henderson breaks that play up. Gives it back to Ricky Lee. Across to Brad Selwood. Down the boards for Bruce McGregor. He lets it go to Walton inside. Walton was turned around by Tsygankov. They're going to jam the puck there and finally freeze it. With about 8.5 minutes gone in period 1, and Team Canada on top, 1-0. Serge Bernier on faceoffs has won 4 tonight, 75% accuracy in winning the draw. And this is where the team has been very strong, winning faceoffs against the Soviet Union. The only goal from Backstrom, Mark, and Gordie Howe. A chance now for McGregor. Back to Ricky Lee, winding up. And the catch made by Tretchak in the Soviet goal.
Just watch Canada win the draw here. And the pass is made back to the point. Now look at the screen. And also anything tipped in comes right through between the players. But Walton's right there looking for the rebound. It didn't come.
And he gets the face-off across to Bruce McGregor, but it's broken up by Valery Harlamov, being back-checked ferociously by Paul Henderson. They turn back now at center ice with Petrov in control. Petrov, a long shot. That is blocked at the blue line. Back to the Soviet zone it goes, and the stick of Valery Vasiliev, number 6. Vasiliev across. Petrov is turned around but carries on, being checked now by Selwood. They pile up, and they'll freeze it. Well, our records show on the game recorder tonight, our computerized system, that Team Canada has made 23 physical checks so far in this hockey game. The time of that first goal was 4:31, and that's the only goal so far. Here's a shot from the point, handled easily by Jerry Chivers. Paul Schmier gets it up to Ralph Backstrom. Harlamov breaks it up. Rick Smith going after it with Harlamov. Ahead to Houle. Houle battling for it down the boards. Gets it inside the blue line. And finally against Gusev, they stop the play. Referee is Tom Brown of Canada for this second game of the 74 series. In 72, the Soviets, of course, won Game 1 in Montreal 7-3. This time it was a 3-all tie. And the game in Toronto in that series wound up 4-1 for Team Canada. Right now they lead 1-0. Paul Schmier from the face-off at center ice. The puck is given to the Russian Maltsev. Across the line with Kodev. He was ridden off by Schmier. Back comes Team Canada. Pass too far for Rezhan Houle on the wrong wing, and it's called for icing. They'll bring it back for a face-off to the left of Jerry Chivers. 10:40 remaining here in the first period. There's Trolagan, the gentleman of the checkered jacket. The expression will never change whether his team scores or Team Canada gets a goal. Remember, all you fans in Winnipeg, Game 3 coming up on Saturday, Game 4 in Vancouver on Monday, as this exciting series goes from east to west. Now here is Paul Schmier behind the Canadian goal. For Mahowlich on the boards, being tied up by Kuznetsov, a rookie defenseman for the Soviets this time, and they produce a face-off.
The Russians continue to throw 2 forecheckers in there, and they try to pick off the puck as the Canadians throw it around the boards. If our forwards didn't move out so far, they wouldn't get checked.
Maltsev against Bernier, and Bernier gets that face-off too. After some hesitation, Soviet defender fell. Schmier at center ice with it. Leaves it for Rick Smith. Inside with Bernier. Smith winding, shooting. Loose puck. Cleared smartly by Tretchak. Centering by Bernier. Behind him. Gets it to Frank Mahowlich. Rezhan Houle missed the chance and hopped over his stick. Here's Mahowlich. Still loose around the Soviet goal. Batting away at that loose puck and finally cleared away to the corner to Bernier. Bernier out to an open point. Number 8, Kapustin, comes back for the Soviet Union with Kodov. Kapustin shot. Gloved by Chivers off to the corner. Bumping by Bernier. Big, strong center against Kodov, but it was Bernier who went down. Kuznetsov for Kotov. Kapustin lost it to Rezhan Houle. Rezhan Houle almost had a break. The penalty is going to be called here against the Soviets. They don't like it. Number 8, Sergei Kapustin, tying up Rezhan Houl. With the score, Canada 1 and the Soviets nothing. This is Game 2 from Toronto.
K-Tel presents the Irish Rover Special. 20 super hits specially selected from their TV show.
Come in, we'll do the best we can. And their hair hung over her shoulders, tied up with a black velvet band. Between alligators and long-necked.
Truly international stars, the Irish Rovers bring the warmth of the Irish into your home. Get the Irish Rover Special, $4.99. Paper cassette, $6.99.
All right, here go the Canadians to the attack. We just missed one or two chances here because of the Russian checking, but they're checking with their sticks. That's Houl going down. The puck now ends up in front of the net. The Russian defensemen are standing there and not taking out the Canadians in front of the net. We'll bring you that highlight in just a moment.
Well, the Team Canada has a power play on now. Kapustin's penalty for interference. He's in the box, and Bobby Hull is out there with Johnny McKenzie, Andre Lacroix, Mark Howe, and J.C. Tremblay, and they move it up the ice now. Here is Tremblay in the center ice area. Left side feed for Hull. His shot. Off Tsygankov. Rebound. Lacroix, the side of the net. McKenzie digs in behind. The Soviet player, number 5, Lyapkin, just stood there, and finally the play is whistled down. Fans getting on the Soviet player, and McKenzie now questions the referee, Tom Brown, about that whistle for freezing the puck because only one man was doing it, the Russian player. Score is 1-0. Canada with Lacroix on the power play. Gets it back to Bobby Hull. Hull across the far side. Here's the shot by Tremblay. Rebound and score! And Lacroix digs the puck out as a souvenir and gives it to Mark Howe.
It's the case of the Russians not finishing the check. The time before, they let Mahowich stand in there and bang away. Now look at that Russian. Hey, he's got to take Lacroix's stick. You've got to take the man. Now watch again. You cannot check a 165-pounder or a strong one with his stick. You have to take his body. And there's Lacroix, puts it in. And unless the Russians start taking the man and the Canadians keep taking the man, we got a real good chance.
We've got a 2-0 score right now as Andre Lacroix has capped the Team Canada power play with Sergei Kapustin serving a penalty. Here's the announcement.
Andre Lacroix. Assist, number 23, John McKenzie, and number 3, J.C. Tremblay. The time, 10:49.
The team's back at full strength now with that second goal. Number 19, Shadrin, plays it down behind Jerry Chivers. Bobby Howe failed to hold it. Finally comes to center ice. Chance for McKenzie with Lacroix. Lacroix across the line. It is offside. Play whistled down. But the action picking up. The skating is just fantastic. And the emotion building here at Maple Leaf Gardens after Lacroix. There he is. Number 7 has given Team Canada a 2-goal lead.
Yeah.
He was the leading scorer in the World Hockey Association back in its first season. Around the National Hockey League with the Chicago Blackhawks. The second in scoring behind Mike Walton last year, and now has his first goal, a big goal in this series. Alexander Gusev losing it there to Henderson with McGregor and Walton. Walton shot. Rebound too far for Bruce McGregor. Great scoring chance there, blocked by Tretьяк. Mikhailov across the line, being watched by Paul Schmier. Schmier and Smith in the corner against number 16, Petrov. They'll tie it up there. Again, some sticks go a little high and tempers flare here in the first period of Game 2. Billy Harris has told his team, and they understand and appreciate that they've got to control their temper. Fighting, of course, means automatic disqualification from the game, and there's been nothing even resembling the beginning of a fight so far in this series. For the Soviets, Petrov will be on the draw against number 4, Mike Walton, and Walton wins that one to Rick Smith. In behind the goal, Paul Schmier. Getting it around to Smith. And over to McGregor, too far for him. It is held in by Gusev, and Gusev had his shot blocked. And back they come. McGregor at center ice with Mike Walton. Walton across the line, across the ball. Henderson, and a stop by Tretchak. Howie, every time Team Canada swings across that blue line, they're gunning.
My heart's in my mouth. Watch this great pass by Walton to Henderson. It's jumping, and Henderson controls the pass. And look at here. Great backhand try, and oh, gee, I thought that was going in from the angle that we're sitting at. But Tretchak got it on his chest, dropped it into his glove.
Well, Henderson has nothing to prove to anybody, of course, who saw the 72 series, getting 7 goals, including the series winner. He's back this time and just as eager to play as he was in 1972. Number 29 is Sergei Kotov. Out to the center ice area for Kapustin. Being shadowed by Frank Mahowlich. Left side for Kotov across the line. Kapustin in front. Deflected away from him to Frank Mahowlich. Right side for Rajan Houle. He was stick-checked by Lutchenko, and back come the Soviets. Kotov alone. Long, lazy shot. Handled easily by Jerry Chivers. Now on the stick of Pat Stapleton. Off Mahovlich's stick. Back to Pat Stapleton. Now at center ice for Bernier. Big Serge Bernier feeds it over on the right side. The relay by Houle down behind the Soviet goal to Kuznetsov. He gets a bump from Bernier. Houle coming up with it. Mahovlich shooting wide of the goal. Bernier in the corner against Maltsev, and Maltsev wins it. There's going to be a penalty. This will be the second penalty of the game for the Soviets, and number 2 for the same players, Sergei Kapustin.
You know, the other evening, I figured that there were 2 Canadians didn't really check properly, and Bernier was one of them. This evening, I'm sure he's throwing more good checks than any other Canadian, and he forced the Russians into getting that penalty and making the bad play. The Russian had the puck behind the net. He knew he was going to get hit, and he threw the puck right to a Canadian. And as a result of getting hit, he went out and took a stupid penalty. It's a bodily contact game. Yahoo!
That penalty was for tripping to Kapustin, and now the Team Canada power play, a very productive one so far in this series, is back on the ice. Bobby Hall will play the left point. J.C. Tremblay the right. The center will be Andre Lacroix with Mark Howe on his left and Johnny McKenzie on his right. It rolls to Tretchak's doorstep, covered up by Tsygankov. Here is Hull keeping it in. At the line, finally losing it. Tremblay being watched by number 15, their big star, Yakушев. Top goal scorer in 72, playing with an injury in this game tonight. Now Hull taking his time to get this power play formed up. Drops it back for J.C. Tremblay. The defenseman will lead them out of there now. Lacroix circling in center on the left side is Bobby Hull. Hull shooting just wide of the far side. Lacroix into the Soviet corner. Bumped there by Lutchenko. Gets it out. Cleared back to the point to Tremblay. Here's Bobby Hull getting a chance, but feeds it down instead to Johnny McKenzie. McKenzie across to Lacroix. Back to McKenzie. Along the boards, Hull keeping it in momentarily, and the Russians finally clear it out of there with a minute left in Kapustin's penalty for the Soviet Union. 6 minutes left in the first period, and Team Canada leads by a score of 2-0. Tremblay too far. Almost stolen there by Lacroix, as this power play has not had the zip of previous attempts. Now here's Mike Walton on the ice. Across the Soviet line with Howe. Shot high over top of the Soviet goal. Tremblay keeping it in. Feeding it down on the far board. Centering pass to Penzie, fanned on the relay. And the Soviets bring it out to center ice. Just leave it there for number 11, Mark Howe, 19-year-old, playing the Soviets for the second time. Of course, against them in the Olympics for the U.S. in 72. Tsygankov, chance for the Russians. And McGregor broke that one up. The puck on the left boards. Finally back to the center ice area on the stick of Gennady Tsygankov. Just 7 seconds remaining now in the Soviet penalty. Tsygankov killing time with it. Kapustin now is back on the ice. They're at full strength, and the USSR has weathered that penalty, their second of the game. Back they come with number 13, Boris Mikhailov, inside the line. Drop pass. No one there to grab it. Mike Walton coming up with it. He feeds it out to center ice. But 4:50 remaining in the first period. Team Canada in front by a 2-0 score in Maple Leaf Gardens. The goals by Backstrom and Lacroix. Now here's Paul Schmier getting checked by 16, Petrov. They go down in the corner and hold it there. There'll be a face-off with 4:39 to play in the opening period.
This international hockey down must do something to players. It has to get their adrenaline flowing, as it does mine and the fans. But Henderson, I've never seen him check so well, and he's getting so many good scoring chances because of his checking.
He hit so well, and he injured his shoulder out in Saskatoon in the next to last game of the exhibition swing, but you'd never know that he has anything bothering him whatsoever. Here is Ricky Lee now behind the Team Canada goal, losing it to Harlamov. Now gets a second chance, covers up. Harlamov won't have any of it, so play goes right on. From the point, this is Gusev winding up. Harlamov against Mahowlich in the corner, and Mahowlich takes it away from him. Team Canada out to blue line and back inside for an offside off the skate of Vasiliev. They'll face off right there with 4:19 to play now in the opening period. Billy Harris, again, like Kulagin, his Soviet counterpart. Expression never really changes on Harris's face. Very low-keyed, intense young man. He's done a tremendous job of assembling this team to play the Soviets in 1974. And there's Mr. Kulagin. Bernier on the draw against Maltsev. He wins it. Over to number 6, Selwood. Rejean Houle digs it ahead at center ice. Maltsev breaks that one up. Selwood feeds it down the right boards, and Maltsev goes into the corner after it. Alexander Maltsev, the Soviet veteran, left it there for Kuznetsov. Gets it ahead to center, drifting down into the Team Canada zone rather aimlessly, and Ricky Lee in front of his own goal. Passed badly for Mahowlich. Maltsev went down. There's going to be a penalty there, which will even the penalties up at 2 apiece in this game now. It will be for tripping. And it was Frank Mahowlich that referee Tom Brown has fingered off to the Maple Leaf Gardens penalty box. 3:52 remaining in the first period. Now the Soviet power play goes into action.
Time 16:08.
16:08. Mahowlich for tripping.
Okay.
Maltsev on the face-off. Stapleton jams it ahead to center ice. Kuznetsov across on the left side to Kapustin. Kapustin waiting, passing for Kotov, blocked, and it's shot down the ice. Mark Kyle, those young 19-year-old legs go digging into the corner against number 3, Lutchenko, and he'll tie it up for a face-off. Soviet power play has not been nearly as awesome, Howie, as it was 2 years ago.
Well, I think we've learned something. We've certainly learned discipline, and we've maintained the box a lot better, and we're not getting 2 fellas cut. I think the key, again, is that we go up and send 1 man in, and we at least block 1 wing. But discipline is the key, and certainly this group here is showing great discipline at the moment.
To kill the penalty, Backstrom 14, Markow 11, with Stapleton and J.C. Tremblay on defense. 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining in the penalty to Frank Mahowlich. Ляпкин getting it ahead to Yakishev. Took too long. It is offside at the Team Canada blue line.
See, there was another perfect example of passing without looking. Yakishev got steered off, even though he was offside, but went to throw it to the far point man, and Mark Howe's standing right there. If it hadn't been called offside, Mark Howe's got a free shot on Tretchak.
Out comes Vladimir Shadrin now as they try to make this power play operative, the Soviets, with 1 minute and 20 seconds left in the Mahowlich penalty and 3:10 remaining in the period number 1. At center ice, Bruce McGregor, always a great skater, lost the chance there against number 19, Shadrin. Tsygankov to Maltsev, hops over his stick inside the line. That's a Soviet offside. Their timing, there's something different this time about them, Howie.
Not sure whether that hopped over his stick while he wasn't looking to see whether Stapleton was going to send him greetings. Pat had started to attack him as he was going to receive the pass, and again, From up here, I would have to say that their shaky puck handling is a result of them getting hit every time they handle a puck.
They're looking to be hit. They're not looking to hit themselves, are they?
That's right.
Here is Bruce McGregor with Paul Henderson now as they attempt to kill off the remaining minute in the Frank Machowicz penalty. Tretchak stops it in behind the goal, leaves it for Alexander Gusev. Big number 2, the Soviets' best defenseman so far, getting it ahead to Petrov on the left wing. Swings inside the Team Canada zone, a centering pass, a shot. Rebound for Harlamov. Tried to get it high and could not. Chivers hangs on. That is their best scoring chance, I think, in this entire period.
I've been waiting for this to happen. See how they sneak the man in the middle home free. They send their player in deep. That draws the defenseman to them. And then they sneak another guy down through the middle. See right here? Now look at there. There's the key guy coming in late again. And it's lucky that he couldn't get good wood on it, or it might be a 2-1 hockey game. But certainly we have to plug the middle instead of this side when the puck goes down the far side.
But Harlamov, with an extra inch or two, might have had the room to jam that to the roof of the goal, as he did for a spectacular goal in Quebec City. 35 seconds remaining in the Frank Machowicz penalty. Team Canada shorthanded for that duration of time. Around the goal, Stapleton lost it. Number 16, Petrov plays it in. Tremblay there to cover up, takes his man down, but Mikhailov covers up and carries on with a drop pass back to Gusev. Gusev getting it across in front from Mikhailov. He's turned away by Tremblay. 13 seconds to go on the penalty now. Alexander Gusev winding wide. Rebound. Oh, and hopped over the stick of Mikhailov. Now here is Harlamov getting it back to Vasiliev. Over to Gusev. Gusev's shot. Loose in front. They clear. On the ice is Frank Machowicz. Machowicz, they whistled it down on the offside. Offside pass as he came out of the box to take it. One official waved it off, and the other man across the ice called it. And now they'll get their signal straight. Ironically, in 1967, a disputed pass at center from inside the Soviet blue line set up the winning goal against the national team of Canada in the World Championship. The Soviets won that 2-1, and people who saw the game still aren't sure if the Soviet player was onside or offside, and he got the pass. Now here's Johnny McKenzie coming out. Cross to Andre Lacroix. He lost it. Kuznetsov gives it up to Lacroix with Bobby Hull and McKenzie. Ahead to Hull, blocked by Kotov. And now the Soviets start out. Number 3 is Lutchenko. Again, the forechecking of Andre Lacroix, keeping him off balance, forcing them back into their own zone. 1:23 left in period 1. Team Canada on top 2-0 here in Toronto. Late pass for Lacroix was too far. Again, he's forechecking. Bobby Hull in there, too, looking for it. Now it's picked up by Paul Schmier, giving it ahead to Lacroix. Stick check there by the Soviet player, Sergei Kotov. His pass missed for Kapustin on the left side. Now a minute to play in the opening period. Kuznetsov gave it to Paul Schmier. Right side pass to Serge Bernier, alone inside the Soviet zone. Bumping there with Lutchenko. Carries on, could not make the play. Now Lutchenko leads it ahead to Sergei Kapustin at the Team Canada line. Right side, closing in. Stick check there by J.C. Tremblay. He'll cover up with 37 seconds left. Well, our game recorder shows that Team Canada has thrown 63 body checks in this first period, and it is paying off for them.
That's quite an improvement, you know. It was just 54 in Quebec City.
And surprisingly, the Soviets, either unwilling to get their weight into Team Canada players or unable to, they are not achieving any kind of physical advantage here, as we thought they might come back with here in the second game. Now here is Rezhan Houl behind his own goal for Frank Machowicz. He chops it ahead to center ice into the Soviet zone. We now have 25 seconds to play in the opening period. Number 11, Lebedev. Gets it across to number 19, Shadrin. Shadrin inside the line against Machowicz. Puck comes loose behind the goal, and Selwood covers up to Bernier. 13 seconds left now as they jam in the corner. They center it out. The pass is in front. A shot for Yakupov. Great scoring chance denied by Jerry Chivers. That puck came rifling out in front of the goal.
Now watch the Russians check here. They're starting to take the Canadians. Right on Yakushev's stick, and a great big save for Chivers, and this is the time to make them. 2-0, late in the first period. Wow.
It was Yuri Lebedev who fired that puck out, and the Soviet player was robbed on the best save that Jerry Chivers has had to make in this hockey game. He's had 2 or 3 good ones, and he's held them into a 2-0 situation now with just 3 seconds to play in the opening period. There's the time. The first period here at Maple Leaf Gardens is over, and Team Canada is off to a promising start here in Game 2 of the 1974 series. With the score, Canada 2 and the Soviets nothing. This is Game 2 from Toronto.
Like everybody else, we're wondering whether or not the Team Canada 74 would be taking it to them. They did. They did it with Backstrom's first goal from Gordy and Mark, and then Lacroix from McKenzie and J.C. Tremblay. They were hitting while they were a man short, which really set the tone. But now here are the highlights of the first game.
Tuesday past, Quebec City, game number 1 in the Canada-Russia hockey series. An unbelievably exciting game with many thrills just like this. On the first goal, the key here is that the Russian picks up the puck and tries to get it behind the net. It doesn't. Lacroix fields it, but watch Tretьяк go out of position. He anticipated Lacroix going behind the net. Just great teamwork by the 2 Canadians, but now when it comes up again, take a look. Tretьяк guessing. Look at him move the stick, go the wrong way, open up his legs, and Johnny puts it in. Now in the Russian goal, watch the Canadians here turn the wrong way. The pass expected to go to the point goes across in front of Chivers, and here Chivers is screened on a good shot. Chivers back in the net. Maybe should have moved out a bit. And hey, we got to show you this. Watch this check. Isn't that something else? Watch Regine Hull right here. Line him up. That's Harmonov coming. Look at where he keeps the stick. Perfectly legal check. Woohoo! He flies through the air. Way to hit him, kid. Now you've got to watch this. Just something else. Look at Harmonov here. A good check didn't stop him. He outskates the Canadian. Stapleton caught wide. He goes to the outside on J.C. and around him and puts it in. A beautiful goal. The name of the game. Now the Russians' second goal. Here, we give it to the Russians. Now watch. 2 Canadians go to the point. Another mistake. Now watch. 2 Canadians chase the puck again. Nobody at home minding the barn. And bang, in she goes. Now watch J.C. Tremblay in this series. Beautiful puck control. Waiting for someone to get into position. Now watch the pass by Tardif right on Hull's stick and that Tretьяк. Oh, isn't he something else? Watch, to prove that it wasn't all luck, he does it again on Henderson. Look at Regine there. Just can't believe it. Now watch Henderson. Lose the puck, it goes into the corner, and watch him hit McGregor, who's home free. And look at all the Russians going into the corner. They too make mistakes. Another great save. On this Bobby Hull goal that's coming up here, the Russians have the puck. Look at, they go against the flow and give it to us. The Russian there doesn't complete the check. Watch the speed in which he gets it away. Oh, some goal, some shot, some game.
You know, we keep talking about the age of this Canadian team, and they may be case-hardened veterans, but the 2 things I noticed there, Ralph Backstrom, after all his great years in pro hockey, the first thing he did, he went crashing into the net to make sure he got that puck. He wanted the souvenir, and then Andre Lacroix did the same thing. After the first period, the score is Canada 2 and the Soviets nothing. This is Game 2 from Toronto.
New from K-Tel, the Feather Touch Carpet and Floor Sweeper. It's the little sweeper that does a big job. This rugged all-metal sweeper is strong enough to take it, yet only weighs approximately 2 pounds. Feather Touch sweeps normal carpet, vinyl tiles, hardwood, even cement landings. Cleaning stairwells, under-low furniture, and along wall moldings is difficult. Feather Touch does it easily. No more moving or lifting heavy furniture. And just look at this result. The Feather Touch sweeper is ideal for all homes, apartments, trailers, wherever storage is a problem. And it's so easy to empty. Also included, this exclusive cleaning comb. Use it regularly to keep the pure bristles of your K-Tel sweeper always working like new. K-Tel's new Feather Touch sweeper is unconditionally guaranteed. At $14.95 from K-Tel, it's the little sweeper that does a big job.
Available at Eaton's, Woodward, Simpson's Housewares, and Bay Notions, and at Wilco Woolworths, Met Stores, Link Hardware Co-op, and Zeller Stores.
The Hull Ranch outside Winnipeg may not seem to be the place to get in condition for a hockey series such as the one against the Soviets, but for Bobby Hull, there was little choice. Out on the farm, getting ready for winter is a conditioning job in itself. And Bobby Hull kept those huge biceps in tone, throwing heavy bales around, chasing cattle, building and repairing fences, and being on his feet from morning till night. He also started skating exercises after work here was done. This summer has also been one of mental strain for the Golden Jet. His farmhouse burned down, and that necessitated everyday travel to and from the city. Like all farmers, Hull had difficulties with obtaining and keeping hired help. As he says himself, he is no longer 25 years old. And with his hockey responsibilities compounded by his coaching position with the Winnipeg Jets, there is every likelihood this may be the last summer he will be so occupied with farming. Also contributing to his thoughts was, of course, the upcoming series with the Russians. That was on his mind a lot while chasing those cattle and fixing the fences. His philosophy about playing the Soviets was basic and honest. Know the problem before you try to solve it. And so the time of just thinking about the Russians was over. The hard work, this time for Canada, was about to begin.
Bobby Hull, you indicated to us when we were shooting that film on your farm that you were so busy there that you weren't getting into shape just the way you might have wanted to. You'd never know it.
Well, I think, Tom, that being out in the fresh air, as I spend most of my summers, and the people saw just a little bit of what we do, it was the weather got a little bit bad towards the end of August and first part of September, and couldn't do as much logging the bales around as we could, but you get in good shape out there. You're not sitting around in a house and getting a fat cat. You're out in the fresh air and you're exercising. I would like to have done just a little bit more running and skating, but I worked out 10 days with our Swedish hockey players back home, and they're a great group of guys and great hockey players, and the World Hockey Association's in for a terrific year when they see these guys play.
Listen, I'll tell you, a lot of people didn't think you were going to do as well. I don't mean you personally, but they thought the legs were going to give out in the third period. They thought you might have even been a little bit tired today. Not so.
No, I think we've got a group of guys, Tom, that they're a little bit unique in the hockey world. We have guys like Gordie Howe, who, in my mind, I don't know how any of these people that felt we do poorly could ever feel that Gordie Howe could play poorly. Now, we've got other guys like Frank Mahowlich, who is just a fantastic athlete and plays like gangbusters all the time. Paul Henderson's been through it before, Patty Stapleton, and Jerry Chivers, J.C. Trombley. You know, you go down the line, and I don't know where these guys got off thinking that we weren't going to have a good team. These are just a fantastic group of athletes, and what has really thrilled me is that they're a together team. We'll go out and we'll go through the end of the rink together, and if we lose it, we'll be losing it together, but I'm afraid we're going to win it together.
You're playing a very physical brand of hockey, but there's a danger of too many penalties, bad penalties, stupid penalties.
Yes, it's the only thing you can't do against this Soviet team. All you need to do is really, you don't have to run them through the boards. All you have to do is step in front of them, because they're so mechanical. They move the puck, and then they skate past the guy to get it back, and the guy just throws it back blindly. If you take the guy that passes the puck, just run into him, interfere with him so he can't get to a certain point, they'll throw the puck there blindly, and it'll go on our stick. But you can't take foolish penalties against them, as the people have seen.
A lot of people are surprised you're doing so well. Are you?
No, I'm not a bit surprised. I was really uptight that first game and felt that here's a fantastic group of athletes, and we're going to have our work cut out for us, and we do. But I think we've got a great group in that other room there, too.
Good. Thank you very much, Bobby Hull. Now let's check on some of the highlights. We go upstairs to Don Chevrier and Howie Meeker.
Thank you, Tom. Well, Howie, that was a great period for Team Canada. Not perhaps the bristling, exciting period we saw in Quebec City, but an effective one nonetheless for this team.
Well, I think it was exciting, but maybe there was that tension in Quebec City. Here, we kind of know what Team Canada can do, and we're looking for the Russians to counteract it. And I'm just amazed they're playing panty-waist hockey. Heck, most of them could have eggs in their back pocket and they wouldn't have broken any. And there's no way you can play a Canadian professional hockey player by stick checking, no matter how strong you are in the arms. And we're taking the man, and they're not. And as long as that happens, it's going to be no contest.
Would you agree that of the 4 periods played so far, Team Canada has won 3 decisively, and the other was a draw? I'm talking about the middle period in Quebec.
It's a pretty good judgment, pretty good assessment, yes.
All right. Let's get your view now on some of the exciting plays in this game tonight. Of course, we have the 2 goals on the board, a 2-0 lead.
One check that really the Russian did throw. There have been about 3 like that, and this is what you have to do. Get on the puck carrier. Now look at, Canadian team starts deep in their own end on this goal, and the key, look at, see, if he'd have taken Whitey never makes the pass to Howe. Now watch Backstrom go through the middle. Nobody touches him, lays a stick on him. Look at here. And they quit on him again.
Mark Howe?
Mark Howe just lays it right on his stick like the great professional hockey player he is. And this has not only happened once, it's happened 3 times. Now here's another series of action around in front of the net. Now watch the Russians fish for the puck. You cannot fish for the puck against our fellas, as I think everyone who watched our Stanley Cup playoffs last year knows. Take the man, someone else will get the puck.
That was Lacroix's goal, the last one, and I think if anybody deserves one on this team, it's Andre Lacroix for his play so far.
I think, fans, as you're watching, watch the fellas who are finishing the check, because you earn your goals by the checking you do. And Lacroix has checked extremely well. Backstrom started this whole thing off.
Here it is again.
Here's the power play. Good shot by J.C. and just a great save. And he bumbles it, jumbles it. And look at here, fishing for the puck, number 7. And Lacroix right on the doorstep. Maybe this Tretchek, too, is not the goalie we all thought. Although he made 3 or 4 saves, there's no way in the world that should bounce off and fall down in front of Lacroix.
He's under tremendous pressure in this game and in this series, Howie. And after the first period, the score is Canada 2 and the Soviets nothing. This is Game 2 from Toronto.
Canada is an oil-rich country. And because Canada is rich in oil, it is also rich in the things that oil helps provide. Things that help give us the virtually unsurpassed standard of living we enjoy. Oil doesn't just run cars and heat homes. Oil goes into cosmetics that make you look better, and medicine that makes you feel better. Oil goes into adhesives, the bristles on brushes, candles, dyes, films, plastics, inks, and insecticides. It's in perfume and rainwear, shaving cream, toothbrushes, vitamins, and wood preservatives. A lot of oil is used in a lot of things, but at current production rates, Canada's available oil reserves will run out unless new reserves are found and developed. And that's why Gulf Canada is spending over $110 million this year in exploration and development of new sources. Because life wouldn't be nearly as pleasant without synthetic fibers, brake fluids, plastic bags, dry cleaning solvents.
Our next guest is the Postmaster General Bryce Mackesy, who's been a sports fan all his life. He's been a hockey fan for 30 years, and he's now has the task of overseeing the sale of the Olympic coins, the miraculous method that's going to help Canada stage the Olympics without any cost, and it really is a miraculous story, Mr. Postmaster.
Well, it might cost somebody cost. It won't cost the federal government any cost. That was made clearly understood in the beginning. But our contribution as the federal government has been the minting of these Olympic coins. And we'll meet our objective. Between the coins and the stamps, we'll be able to turn over a net of about $260 million to the Olympics. The first series completely sold out. There's some available from some coin dealers. And the orders are rolling in all across the world for the second set. And most people are looking for the better sets, really, the box sets. So they're just not finding their way into circulation as some people thought they might.
I can vouch for that. I've been still trying to get my first set. I've had an order in for a long, long time.
I'm awfully proud of the team that we put together to sell these things. Austin Page has done a magnificent job, and 40% are sold in Canada, 25% in the United States, a large proportion in Japan and Europe, of course.
I understand that there's something like 12,000 outlets in the United States. Now, that must be one of the most exhaustive or major marketing projects ever undertaken by Canada in the United States.
It's been a tremendous success, really, with American Express handling this type of distribution for us there. The thing is that we've got to be fair to the people who buy them, and we don't intend to go beyond our target. The law prescribes just how many we can mint.
Well, how many do you keep at home?
40% of the coins will remain in Canada. That will be sold to Canadians.
Okay, folks, you better start buying them in a hurry. Now, what about this hockey game?
Well, of course, this has got to be a superb hockey team. I'm not really the greatest admirer of the Russian system, frankly, and I listen to Howie with great admiration. But one thing this team has got is a great goalkeeper. I'm talking about Canadian team, Chiver's. He's been superb. You've got a happy blend of experience and young legs. What's pleased me, of course, is Johnny McKenzie. In the 30 years I watched all the great stars, they've all had failures. One of them is Johnny McKenzie, and I got his autograph tonight, and the other one's been Dickie Moore. When he played with Canadians, I always thought that Dickie Moore was a great player. He was a brainy player, you know.
Wasn't Johnny McKenzie the favorite player of the late Prime Minister Pearson?
Yes, he could always marvel every time Johnny ended up in the corner, and said, you know, he owns that corner. When I go to a game with him, Johnny McKenzie does own the corner, and before this series is over, he'll get his share of goals. I thought he was the unsung hero of the first game.
Well, I particularly liked that first period for a couple of reasons. First of all, because of Ralph Backstrom, as I mentioned earlier. He looked to me like he was going to be the star of this series because he looked like he was going to be the best two-way hockey player we had. And then young Andre Lacroix came along, and now Johnny McKenzie's working like that. You know, aside from the Bobby Hulls and the Gordie Howes.
Well, the French-speaking Canadians are just marvelous natural skaters. And of course, Ralph has lived many years in Verdun when he played with Montreal. He's always been a very extremely honest player, a two-way player, who doesn't know anything else but to go all out. This is a great Canadian team, and we're going to win that series.
Well, I think it's going to be exciting, and I do believe that we're going to win it, and it's going to be just a delight, because over the next 6 games across Canada and the Soviet, it's going to be our delight to travel with them and bring them to you. Now let's go upstairs for the start of the second period at Don Chevrier.
Thank you, Johnny, and we'll be underway with period 2 in just a moment or two here at Maple Leaf Gardens, with Team Canada leading the USSR's national team 2-0. Those scoring plays for Team Canada in the opening period at 4:31. Ralph Backstrom relaying a beautiful wide-open relay from Mark Howe, and Gordie Howe also got the assist to make it 1-0. Goal 2 at 10:49. Lacroix from McKenzie and J.C. Tremblay, and that's the way it is, 2-0 for Team Canada. Gordie Howe, by the way, did not see much action after the goal that he helped set up. And the report from the Team Canada dressing room is that he has injured his ribs. The extent of the injury is not known at this time. We'll watch for number 9 and see what develops here in this second period. But Gordie Howe is not on the ice at the present time for the Team Canada warm-up. And he was a major force in Quebec City in the first game on Tuesday, Howie, just stepping into people and letting them know that he was around.
Took the Russians off the puck. There's a couple of pretty good two-handers. If Gordie's got sore ribs, or some of those Russian hockey players got pretty sore shins, I'll tell you.
A little delay here. There's some disturbance up in the stands that the officials and the team are distracted by, and now we're getting just about set to go. Coming out for Team Canada will be Mike Walton at center, Bruce McGregor on the right side, and Paul Henderson on the left side. The defense pair, Stapleton and Tremblay. Apparently somebody was taken ill in the stands there, and that accounted for the delay in getting this period underway. Center man for the Soviets is Petrov. He's anxious to go. Wins that face-off against Mike Walton. First one Walton was lost clearly in tonight's game. Walton now has it across the line. The pass to Stapleton, breaking it along. He shoots. Trick shot with a great super save there. Right off the opening face-off. Now here is Vasiliev playing it ahead to Harlamov, relaying it inside the line. Petrov's shot deflected. Chivers handles that. Harlamov, with Henderson chasing him, finally gets it out to center ice. Canadians relay it down, and there'll be a face-off in the Canadian zone again next to Jerry Chivers. Pat Whitey Stapleton, a major force in the early games of this series. A guy who wasn't sure he wanted a second chance at playing the Russians way back in the heat of summer, but like many others, I'm sure now he's glad he did. In fact, the top defense pair undoubtedly has been the experienced combination of Stapleton and J.C. Tremblay. Now we have a Team Canada line change now, just 32 seconds into this second period. Bernier is coming out, along with Frank Mahowicz and Rejan Houle. And at center ice, Cıgankov shoots it down inside the blue line. Mahowicz digs it right out again. Cıgankov Left back there for Yuri Lyapkin. Now number 11, Lebedev. Being chased by Mahowlich. Gets inside the line. Passing to an open wing. Bernier fails to clear it out of there. Shot back down to the corner by 19, Shadrin. Shadrin with it behind the goal. Nobody on that side except Frank Mahowlich. He did not play it out in time. They tie up. The puck comes loose for number 11. Lebedev in front. Weak shot. Was handled easily. It was wide. Puck came high and hit the Soviet player Lebedev. He's going to the bench for repairs. Hit him in the face, I believe. Number 21 now, Bernier. Paul Schmier. Ed for Houle. Taking over is Bernier. He lost it. And on the right side it is Kotov. Passing it across to number 15, Yakoshev. Soviets still being held off balance. Their picture plays unable to get formed up here by a forechecking Team Canada 1974. Now this is Lacroix going down the left boards against Kotov. Round behind the goal to Yakoshev. Yakoshev, far side pass, relay back to number 29, Kotov. Selwood gets there first and gives the puck to his defense partner, Rookie Lee. Lee shoots it down the ice. That produces an icing call against Team Canada with a little over 2 minutes gone here in the second period. And the score unchanged from the first, Team Canada 2 and the Soviets nothing. And there is Lebedev, the injured Soviet player who had that puck deflect up and catch him just beside the eye, it appears.
Much better under the circumstances to have Lay ice that puck than try to make that pass through the middle and get us into trouble.
Here's Maltsev shooting. Chambers lost it. It's loose. Whistle is gone. Forcing a face-off. Good scoring chance there for the veteran Alexander Maltsev, denied by Jerry Chevers. Maltsev with Kapustin. They lose it. Played over on the right side for McKenzie. McKenzie could not reach it. Bobby Hull has it back on the stick of Rookie Lee inside the Canadian line. Now Selwood works to center ice. Feeds it across too far for Lacroix. Hull in the left corner going forward against Kuznetsov. And it's cleared around back to the Team Canada blue line and beyond. Brad Selwood and Rookie Lee, a pair of ex-Toronto Maple Leafs on the ice now on defense. And here's Johnny McKenzie. His pass broken up by Sergei Kapustin. Over to Kotov. Left side relay for Alexander Maltsev. Too far for him. And it's tipped by McKenzie back to center ice for Lacroix with Bobby Hull. 2-on-1. Closing in to Bobby Hull. He shoots and scores!
Attacking and 4 Russians attacking. And look at them all caught. McKenzie tips it out here. Now watch Lacroix fake the pass. Now he brings the Russian to him, puts it in the air, and Bobby Hull has sense enough to get it up high. That's the spot if you're going to be Tretchik. Now watch this great pass. Look at him fake. Take it over to his left. Look at the pass in the air, right on the ice. Great play. That's the way to finish him.
Bobby Hull's third goal of the 74 series. And Team Canada leads by a 3-0 score. Lacroix just as happy as Hull, the rest of this team.
Canada goal scored by
Here's
number 16, Bobby Hull.
And a chance inside for Mark Howe.
Number 7, Andre Lacroix. And
This
number
is
6,
Houle.
Brad Selwood.
Lacroix and Selwood got the assists at 2:50 for Team Canada. Now J.C. Tremblay being watched by Harlamov. He plays it back to Pat Stapleton. Ahead to Houle. Inside the line. Had it taken away by number 2, Alexander Gusev. To the veteran Boris Mikhailov. Across to Vasiliev. Right side. Harlamov kicks it down the board. Slowed up there by Mark Howe. And Houle in the corner leaves it for J.C. Tremblay. In turn to Pat Stapleton. And finally out to center ice. Petrov just walked away from Mark Howe. Left the puck for Pat Stapleton. He got mixed up with Houle. It goes inside the line. Now Team Canada will change with the puck in behind the Soviet goal. Team Canada 3, the Soviets nothing. Early in the second period at Maple Leaf Gardens. Here's Valery Harlamov inside the line. Being watched by Tremblay. Centers it. Off Paul Schmier to Petrov. Right in front of the goal. Loose there. Soviets hang on to it. Here's Gusev's shot to the far corner. Harlamov taken off the puck by McGregor. In behind the goal. Team Canada under pressure now at this stage in the second period. Shadrin gets tied up. Schmier goes in there. Schmier against Shadrin. Now Walton jams, and they'll finally get a face-off to relieve some pressure. Played about 4.5 minutes in the second period with Team Canada leading 3-0.
You've just got to see what's going on. Look at this young Howe right here. Take the Russian. This is the only way to play any hockey game. Right after this, he come back and took Petrov. Maybe a little bit of holding, but the referee was at a bad position. But you have to take the body. Now watch what happens to the Russian players in front of the Canadian net. Selwood made a fantastic play a few moments ago to set up that Hull goal by taking the Russian in front of the net.
Well, Mark had a great teacher. Yakuşev. Yakuşev now in the Team Canada corner against two of them. Rick Smith wins it. Gets it out to center ice. A lead pass for Mike Walton against Tsygankov. Racing down the boards. He was cut down by Tsygankov. Crowd hollering for a penalty, and play goes on. They just bumped together, and Walton lost his balance. Yakuşev to center ice for the USSR. Inside the line. Relay on the left side. The shot blocked by Jerry Chivers. Finally on the stick of Paul Schmier. Up to Paul Henderson, who's bumped by Tsygankov. And number 19, Vladimir Shadrin, plays it in behind where Jerry Chivers gets it up to Paul Schmier and down the ice. This slow dribbler going right on Tretchak. Little over 5 minutes gone in the second period. 3-0 for Team Canada. Schmier. Pass to Bruce McGregor. Hopped over his stick. The backhand relay across. Camp for Walton. Blocked by Tretchak. Back on the left side for Schmier. He plays it down. Tsygankov's body caught that one. The Russians finally work it out to center. This is Rick Smith for Team Canada, shooting it right back down as both sides change on the go now. Tsygankov against Houle. Tying him up in the corner for a face-off. Pretty good hockey, eh, Howie?
Oh, it sure is. These fellas are playing. Over the years, you hear people say, give me pre-expansion hockey. Look, the modern-day kid can play this game as good as anybody when he has to.
What do you mean, kid? Not too many kids out there.
Oh, yes, they are. They got to be young at heart. Now, come on. And young in legs. Look at them go.
Young in spirit, certainly, and dedicated toward this series against the USSR. Mahowlich off his stick, back for Selwood. That was blocked on a hard shot by Tretchak. Number 29, Kotev, ahead to Maltsev. Played there by Ricky Lee. To Serge Bernier, the big center from the Quebec Nordiques. At center ice, number 12, Kuznetsov. Got checked from behind by Houle. Puck still in there for the Russians, though. Maltsev and Kuznetsov lost it again. Now here's Rezhan Houle working it out. Pass. Not quite far enough for Bernier. It would have been offside had he taken the puck. Now here is Maltsev across the line. And his weak shot deflected by Selwood off to the corner. Brad Selwood, number 6, with it now. To the line. Held in by Kuznetsov. Pass to an open corner while Kotov was open. Kotov digs it out. Rezhan Houle wins it. And Houle comes back with Bernier. Sergei Kotov. Rink-wide pass intercepted by Brad Selwood. For Bernier, down to the Soviet corner on the right side. Swings it around in front. Nobody there except number 16, Petrov. Petrov sends Kapustin away. Chivers away out of his goal. Wins the race and clears it out. Lutchenko overskates and almost lost it there. Mikhailov was bumped by Bobby Hull. The Soviets repeatedly being disorganized at center ice before their plays form up. Now here is a call at the Team Canada line. The puck was batted down by a high stick, and they'll face off just inside the blue line.
I think maybe the players, like myself, are starting to get a little cocky. They're maybe taking a little too much time on the ice, and time again now, we're not going after the man with the puck with the body. We're starting to stick check, and we're going to get into trouble unless we stay short shots and take the man.
Shot from the face-off, right on, handled by Chivers to J.C. Tremblay. Veteran Tremblay out to center ice. Now Gusev to Valery Harlamov, one of the superstars of 72. Harlamov swings across the Team Canada line, being watched by Stapleton, centers it out, and Tremblay played it away to the corner. Picked up by 16, Petrov. Getting set, the relay for Mikhailov. Mikhailov centering it, and now Chivers pounces on it. There'll be no further play. As McKenzie greets Mikhailov with a hostile gesture in behind the goal.
Watch the finishing of the check here.
16, Bobby Hull. Assist number 7, Andre Lacroix.
Throws it in front, not a chance. There's nothing but Canadian sweaters there, and they too when they do control the puck, often give it to a red sweater instead of a white. And really, there's no excuse for it at all.
They're giving McKenzie an assist on the third goal scored by Bobby Hull, and there'll be another face-off now. Chivers taking no chances with the Soviets buzzing around his goal crease. By the way, you have the two creases there, the WHA crease and the international hockey crease. And there's Gordie Howe. He's back in street clothes now, and obviously all through for tonight with rib injuries. Tough break for a guy who wanted to play so badly in this series. We're not sure how long he'll be out. Here is McKenzie in the corner against Gusev. Gusev winning it, working it up the boards. Now McKenzie getting it again, being bumped by Gusev, relays it across, intercepted by Mikhailov to Gusev. Now Boris Mikhailov at the Team Canada line. Across to Petrov, to Harlamov, ridden off nicely by Bobby Hull. Tremblay to Lacroix. Left side, back for Tremblay, too far. Hull picks it up. Pass for Lacroix, could not get it to him. And here is Valery Harlamov at the Team Canada line. Fakes the shot. Puck still loose there. Bobby Hull comes up with it. Hull, center ice pass for Lacroix off his stick. And Gusev has it for the USSR with 8.5 minutes gone in the second period, and Team Canada leading 3-0. Harlamov. Lebedev. Lebedev got turned around by himself and gave the puck to Mike Walton. Walton, one-on-one over the Soviet line. In the clears. Taken down is going to be a penalty as Mike Walton was home free. It's a delayed penalty. Play is going right on. Team Canada has pulled the goalie out. Now finally he realizes the official and calls the play. The official let that play go right on. I think he was confused as which way the penalty was going, and when he saw Team Canada pull the goalie, he remembered the penalty had gone to the Soviets.
You know, over the years,
we'll get back in just a moment, Howie, with the score of Canada 3 and the Soviets nothing. This is game 2 from Toronto.
Somebody, help somebody, c'est pas un rêve, je me suis trompé, le train s'en vient, il arrive, et aussi moi.
Venture into outer places with Robert Charlebois, a CBC music spectacular.
Tomorrow at 9:30 in
Newfoundland. With Robert Charlebois, a CBC music spectacular.
Tomorrow at 9:30 in Newfoundland.
There's a great try here by Walton. And look at this. Yes, it certainly is a penalty shot. He had him beat and was bringing the puck around to get a good play on Tretchak. Now watch here. This Walton just using his explosive speed. And let's go around that Russian, and the Russian had the edge. Oh, no doubt about it. That's a good call by the official.
Vasiliev took him down, and this is a first for Canada-Russia hockey, a penalty shot. And Mike Walton is going to take the penalty shot here 9 minutes into the second period. It was Walton who, as you saw, had the clear break on goal. And now he's just catching his breath and getting ready to take this shot. Now, why the official indicated a delayed penalty, allowing Team Canada to pull their goalie and allow the Russians to cross the Canadian line before finally calling it, we don't know. But it is a penalty shot.
I hope somewhere along the line we have that last shift played by Bobby Hull. I've seen the gentleman play a lot of just great hockey, but he made 4 checks. He had 2 tries on the goal, and all his effort was coming back. All right, let's watch Walton take this penalty shot. This is sort of a dream come true. You and I were talking prior to the start of the game.
The puck's at center ice. Walton moves up to it now, and let's watch. Walton alone on Tretchak. Blocked by Tretchak. He went for the slap shot.
I really thought he was going to give him the big deep. Watch how far Tretchak's out of the net. I watched White take penalty shots. Look at here. Tretchak at the top of the crease. Pretty tough to put it in. You'd have to put it between his legs. But all during the practices that I've watched since joining the tour, Walton's walked into the goalkeeper, give the fake, taken the puck to his backhand and tucked it upstairs. If he'd have tried it there, it might have worked.
So Tretchak beats Walton. The score remains 3-0. Face-off to the right of the Soviet goal. Serge Bernier on the ice with Poole, Mahowlich, Schmier, and Rick Smith. Shadrin on the face-off for the USSR. He's got Yakушев out there with him and Lebedev. Shadrin comes away with it now to Yakушев. Right side relay for Shadrin, number 19. Back for Yakушев. Yakушев carries on against Mahowlich, works the puck around in behind the Team Canada goal, swings it in front of the crease. It is loose there. Chivers has to go by the goal. They pile up. It's cleared way back here. Here's a drive blocked by number 17, Rick Smith, and Bernier right there too, as Chivers was out of position. Schmier takes a run in the corner. There's going to be a penalty, I believe. The Soviets carrying on, pulling their goalie. It is blocked. Tretьяк now leaves it there. The Soviets on the delayed penalty still have that puck until Team Canada touch it. On the right side, in across the line is Lebedev. Lebedev gets it across to Petrov. Petrov back to number 5, Ляпкин, and finally Mahowlich has it, and the penalty will be called against Team Canada. With the score, Canada 3 and the Soviets nothing. This is Game 2 from Toronto.
K-Tel presents Canadian Mint, 22 superstars, 22 super hits, the DeFranco family. Carrie Jacks. 5-man electrical band.
Now, Mama, don't you go talking silly.
Wednesday. Blackman Turner Overdrive.
Would you let it ride?
Great Canadian stars.
2 minutes for slashing.
Frank Mahowlich gets the penalty for slashing for Team Canada at 9:44 of the second period. So the Russian power play becomes operative again. It was not Schmier with a slamming check in the corner, but Mahowlich for something out in front of the goal. Backstrom out on the penalty-killing team with Markow, Tremblay, and Stapleton. Valerie Harlamov coming up across the line, trying to split that defense, could not do so, and Tremblay plays it out. Race for the puck in there. Markow's offside. Backstrom has to wait. Now he swings in with Howe. Too far for Backstrom. Still there. Ralph Backstrom has a call behind him. Gets the shot now, and Tretьяк. Rebound. Backstrom again off the side of the goal. 3 great scoring chances while Team Canada was short-handed. Gusev on the right side for Petrov inside the Team Canada line. Down for Mikhailov, too far. Pat Stapleton now will try to slow things down in the corner. Lost it. Stapleton again has it with Tremblay. Tremblay helps him out and works it out of there. J.C. Tremblay will now take some time, looping around in his own zone. Back to Pat Stapleton. We have a minute left of the Frank Mahowlich penalty. It is relayed down in behind the Soviet goal. What great scoring opportunities there just a moment ago in front of Tretьяк. Mikhailov lost it to Bruce McGregor. He's going into the break. McGregor shoots. Tretьяk stops. The rebound is out there. Finally picked up by number 16, Petrov. Wide open end-to-end hockey on this Russian power play attack. Harlamov across. Vasiliev shoots. Blocked by Jerry Chivers. Good save off to the corner. 25 seconds left down the penalty. Petrov. Open wing pass for Harlamov. Well, off Bruce McGregor back to center ice. The Soviets look a bit disheartened right now. They haven't got the zing that previous Soviet power plays have shown us on tours of Canada. Mikhailov just leaves the puck right there. They're even changing on the go now. They've given up on this attempt to score as Frank Mahowlich is back on the ice. 8 minutes and change left in the second period. 3-0 Team Canada. It is shot by Henderson down the ice for an icing call.
I'm going to borrow a phrase from your football buddy. They split the seam when on that power play, and the Canadian team, when they're killing the penalty, just has to slip the player furthest from the puck into the middle because the Russians walking through the middle, and the only good scoring chance they had in that last 2 minutes was when they did just that, put a man through the middle.
That's about how Coach Jackson would call it, Howie. Here's the face-off now. Bobby Hull brings it out of the pass to McKenzie. Hopped over his stick. McKenzie shoots it down as the linesman got in the way. Took a tumble there. Pass right in front of the crowd. Oh, again, Tretьяк with a super save for the Soviets. Schmier keeping it in. All around that goal. The Soviet defense totally disorganized and knocked off balance. McKenzie cuffed number 3 Lutchenko as he went by. Johnny McKenzie Turned around finally by Kuznetsov, and the Soviets break out to center ice. Kapustin, number 8, on the left wing with Kodev and Maltsev. Stick check by Paul Schmier, and back comes Team Canada. Lacroix with McKenzie, left side Bobby Hull, feeding it across just behind him. And number 29, Kotov, has it for the USSR as Team Canada will change now. Offside on that check inside the line with Lacroix trapped. 7:18 remaining. Bobby Hull with 2 goals the other night, 1 tonight and 1 assist, has 4 points. He with Lacroix and McKenzie, that line, the top scoring performers in the series with a total of 4 points apiece. The Soviets, well, Harlamov has 2 points. He's the best on the USSR side. 3-0 with 7:18 remaining in the second period at Maple Leaf Gardens. Face-off now for Bernier against Shadrin. Number 5, ल्याпкин. Pass hopped over a stick on the far side of the blue line to rookie Lee. Lee works it down to the Russian zone. Tsygankov, veteran of the U.S. or the Olympic and the World Championships for the USSR. Now it's coming up after that great body check to Shadrin. Lebedev has his shot blocked by a sprawling Brad Selwood. Loose beside the goal in front of goal. Number 15, the veteran Alexander Yakushev breaks Chivers' bid for a shutout.
Well, it had to come sooner or later, and you get the feeling now, at least I'm getting the feeling, that Canada is trying to make the score 4-0 or 5-0, but they get a lucky bounce here, and again, in front of the net is not covered. We send 3 fellas in behind, and Yakushev, just too good a hockey player not to keep off the score sheet.
He's playing with a hip injury and also a suspected shoulder injury. For a while was a doubtful starter. He's come on to be as strong as ever tonight. Yakushev makes it 3-1. Here's a break for Paul Henderson alone. He shoots, and Tretchak robbed him again. 13:09, the time of that goal. Shadrin set it up for the Soviet Union for Yakushev. In the corner, they'll freeze the puck. 6:33 to play in the second period.
Don, we can't miss too many like that. For the number of chances we've had, we're not making intelligent plays when we go in and Tretchak. Henderson held him there. All he had to do was bring it to his backhand and put it in, but he shot it right at Tretchak. And I think the last 3 times that we've had good scoring opportunities, we've made Tretchak look good. Now it's 3-1, and we duck down a little bit or get caught in the change or get a foolish penalty. It's 3-2, and we're right back in the ball game. Fellas have to toughen up or get that 4th goal and get it quick.
McGregor shot wide off the draw. Now he gets a second chance. Fed from Trombley. A relay for Paul Henderson. He could not connect on it. Number 16 is Petrov, moving up for the USSR. Mikhailov on the right side works away from Stapleton, who finally hits the puck with a high stick, and they whistle it down. Mr. Kulagin and the Soviet officials in behind the USSR bench. Knowing his team needs more than the 1 goal, but perhaps that goal will spark them now. Not from the Soviet team we've seen in previous games. Again, Henderson getting a long lead pass. Feeds it back. Here is Walton alone, and he's robbed again by Tretchak. He will dream about Tretchak in the form of nightmares tonight.
Hey, maybe he is that great. Look at this body check. Isn't that something else?
Over the top. Henderson going down. Then Walton getting the chance. Another chance. And Tretchak beat him again. Well, like the other night, this game, without Tretchak's great work and perhaps a little erratic shooting, would be a total runaway, Howie. Now here's Harlamov moving it out for the USSR. Gets it out to center ice, gets bumped by Rick Smith. Harlamov gives him Lacroix a return check there, took him down. Bobby Hull, a little bit behind him, now chops it down to Tretchak. Vasiliev, number 6, with it for the Soviet Union. Gusev. Well, he can't control it very well either. And now Bobby Hull will have to wait for Johnny McKenzie to come out. He does. Fires it across the line. Here's Lacroix getting set. Right at Tretchak's stick. Low drive. Did not get a full piece of that puck. Now here's Petrov. Left side. Circling in front for Harlamov. He was covered by Bobby Hull. Vasiliev. Petrov left it there for Paul Schmier. We've got about 5:15 to play in the second period. 3-1 Team Canada. Here's Hull to Lacroix. Shooting blocked by Vladislav Tretьяк once again. Pass captured by Kapustin. Over on the right side. Now in the middle for Vasiliev. Swings across the Team Canada blue line. Chivers stops it there. Kapustin checking on Schmier. Almost won the puck. Now Bobby Hull has it. Hull against Mikhailov. Sticks go high behind the goal. Play goes right on. Back to the point. They can't trap it. It'll slide down the ice, but will not go far enough to be called for icing. Indication of a delayed penalty against Team Canada here from the referee. We did not catch the infraction, but the Russian goalie is coming out. Kapustin now on the attack to Maltsev. Maltsev bumped by Schmier, carries on in the corner, centers it right at the crease there, and Chivers hangs on. And the penalty is going to be against Team Canada. Looks like Lacroix coming off. Did you see the infraction, Howie?
Oh, I didn't. I'm sitting here shaking my head about that goaltender. You know, it's...
Well, Bobby Hull was in some rough stuff back in the corner just about the time the penalty was called, but the penalty goes to number 7, Andre Lacroix. Here he is against Mikhailov. Hello there. I'm Bobby Hull.
And how did Lacroix get the penalty?
It happened elsewhere.
Canada penalty to number 7, Andre Lacroix. 2 minutes for high sticking.
High sticking is the
time, 15:39.
At 15:39. Now from the face-off, they work it out across the line. Down went Mark Howe, sandwiched. And Yakушев, the scorer of the only Soviet goal tonight, now swings away from Mark Howe. He got just a piece of him. He's at center ice, at the blue line, being hounded there by Ralph Baxter, who got it away from him, and they shoot it back down the ice to Cıgankov. Soviets trailing 3-1. 3:50 left in the period. 1:25 and the penalty to Andre Lacroix. Here is Yakушев across the line with Lebedev. Pass to Lebedev. Chivers coming way out. They pass it right in front to Shadrin over his stick as Chivers was out of the goal. Here's Shadrin. Yakушев waiting to make the play. And it's intercepted and shot away by Mark Howe. 1 minute left now in the Team Canada penalty. Cıgankov, the veteran Soviet defenseman, across the line as the defense backs in. Yakушев across to Lebedev. Lebedev the play, and a shot just wide by Ляпкин. Ляпкин again for the USSR. Setting, passing it, deflected. Stavelin got a piece of it, and now here's Paul Henderson with Bruce McGregor. Across the line, long shot. Rebound! Oh, just missed it skating in. Shadrin feeds it ahead to Lebedev. Too far for Yakушев. 25 seconds to go in Lacroix's penalty. And off the center boards on the stick of Cıgankov. Got away from Bruce McGregor. Steps inside the line. Soviets changing on the go now, late in this power play. Ляпкин to Cıgankov. Almost out, but he traps it there. On the right side, taking lots of time to set it up, is Kapustin. Back to Cıgankov. And the penalty is now expired. Lacroix is on the ice. McGregor chops at it. Lacroix comes to pick it up and starts up the left side into the center ice area against Cıgankov. Could not get there in time. We have just over 2 minutes to play in the second period. 3-1 for Team Canada is the score. Maltsev now inside the line. Getting it back for Kotov. Kotov. And a pass go through some legs into the corner of the Soviets. Right in front. Here's Kotov, and Chivers stopped him right there. Down the ice is a free pass for Mike Walton. Taken down in the corner by Cıgankov as Team Canada now will change. The Hull line is coming out. And play is whistled down for an offside pass back inside the blue line. Our overall performance game recorder indicates that in terms of passing and checking and shots, Ricky Lee and Brad Selwood have done their job. They rate them +2 on the night so far. There's Johnny McKenzie, a big contributor to this cause in 1974 with his hustle and desire and his performance on the line with Bobby Hull. Andre Lacroix at center. Smith and Schmier on defense now with a minute and a half approximately left in the second period. Vladimir Lutchenko plays it for Kotov on the right side, broken up by Hull. Maltsev wins it. Hull rides him out. Leaves the puck there for Paul Schmier. Schmir in trouble beside his goal, got away from Maltsov. Now watches Kotov. Ends up the right side of the pass to McKenzie, and that's chopped back in behind the goal as Team Canada wait to organize properly. Get it to the line, but Kuznetsov keeps it in. Down to the corner for Maltsev. Off the skate of Schmir back behind the goal. Schmidt goes down. Schmir will hang on now. He's bumped and knocked down by Maltsev. There'll be no further play. Players can have words, but it's tough to understand each other, Howie.
Oh, I think Team Canada is playing it pretty smart here. They're just keeping that puck around the outside, and they're not sending anybody out to try to make that long pass. So there's a pretty good check after the whistle. Taking a page out of Canada's book. Well, we've got the Rusty talking to himself.
And a line change as the Lacroix-McKenzie Hull unit will go to the bench. We have 1 minute and 1 second to play in the second period. 3-1, Team Canada leads. Bernier, Mahowicz, and Houle with Trombley and Stapleton out there now. Vasiliev lost it to Frank Mahowicz in the center ice area. Bouncing puck ahead for Houle now. Chops it down the left boards. Houle over playing on the wrong wing there. Played it inside the line. Now Gusev, number 2, ahead to 6, Vasiliev. Vasiliev's pass broken up by the big M, Frank Mahowicz. Serge Bernier almost had it taken away by Vasiliev. Now he plays it over to Pat Stapleton and back to Bernier. Checked again in there by the Soviet forecheckers. Harlamov missed the pass out. Now plays whistle down. Another high stick. They're going to have a face-off at the top of the face-off circle beside Jerry Chivers with 30 seconds remaining. Vladimir Petrov will take the face-off for the USSR. He's got Mikhailov, 13 on his right. Harlamov, 17 on the left. Bernier, Houle, and Mahowicz for Team Canada. Bernier got it out to the blue line, held in there. The relay across, an open pass missed. Here's Houle behind the Team Canada goal now. 20 seconds to play in the period. Tipped by Mahowicz down the ice. Bernier sent in there to cover number 2, Gusev. Houle. Mahowicz overskates it. Soviets bumping at center ice. Harlamov down the left wing now. Could not beat J.C. Tremblay. We have 5 seconds left. Here's a break for Bernier. If he can get his balance to get away a shot. He shoots. Tretchak hangs on at the buzzer to end the second period. Another of the many, many scoring chances that Team Canada has failed to cash in on, Howie, in this period. Serge Bernier.
Just look at him outfight the Russian for the puck here. And he gets a good shot away if he draws it. This is our problem, that Tretchak is moving out on us, knowing that our options are really cut short. Now watch Tretchak stay at the top of the crease. He knows that his defenseman is going to keep him busy, not going to give him a chance to draw the puck. And look how he goes down and spreads the leg out. Just a great save.
One of many made by Tretchak in this game and in this series. With the score, Canada 3 and the Soviets 1. This is Game 2 from Toronto.
Most areas of fandom here in Maple Leaf Gardens are strictly biased for Team Canada. Here at the North End, it's no exception. Tell me, what do you think about this game?
I think it's fantastic. It's really a lot better than I expected it would be.
What did you expect it to be?
Well, I didn't know the WHA was as good as it turned out to be.
Well, I'll tell you, they got a lot of good hockey players. What do you think?
I think they're fantastic, and I think the WHA is going to win 5 games.
That's a good. Hey, that's pretty good. 5 games you predict, eh? What'd you think about that penalty shot by Mike Walton?
Well, he had the corner pick, but the goalie Tretchak, he's been robbing everybody blind tonight. So.
If you had that shot to make yourself, what would you do with it?
I'd probably eat the puck myself. I don't know.
You'd probably faint by the time you got to the blue line. What do you think about it all?
Fantastic, just great.
Have you always been a hockey fan?
Yep, ever since my father was referee, yep.
He was a referee? And you still like hockey? Oh, brother, I'll tell you. What do you think about this?
I think it's exciting action and a lot of hard hitting.
Who do you think's going to win, though?
Canada, all the way.
Do you think we can hang on through this last 20 minutes here?
Well, Team Canada's shown they've had great shape in Quebec. I think the goaltending of Jerry Chivers is going to be a very major factor in this series.
I'll tell you, that Tretchak's not a bad goaltender either. Who's going to win the third period? Who's going to win this thing? Canada! That's what I thought. Let's grab the Don Cherry. Don?
All right, Tom, you got some happy fans there with a good reason to be, because their team leads 3-1 as we're getting ready now for the commencement of play in the third period here. And here's one of the spectators at Maple Leaf Gardens, Clarence Campbell, the National Hockey League president, a spectator at this game. Of course, Mr. Campbell has long been an advocate of international competition between the pros and the Soviets, the best the Europeans have to offer, and I'm sure he's enjoying it along with the rest of us. Billy Harris, the coach of this team, has to be concerned at the back of his mind about Gordie Howe's availability. As we say, Gordie was taken to hospital for x-rays. The ribs he injured in the first period, and we hope to know later about more precisely the condition of Gordie Howe. Right now, Team Canada has got the third period to play with a 2-goal lead, Howie, and how might they best approach that?
Just don't get two fellas caught, that's all. Don't go for goal number 4 or take unnecessary chances till they get goal number 2. And coming out of their own end, again, I've noticed that we're trying to sneak a man out while the Russians are down 2 goals. They've got to send 3 people into forecheck, and when we're going to make that long pass out to the fellow trying to break away to get another goal, if it's not on his stick, if it's in his skates, then the Russians are going to come up with it. We just can't take a chance in our own end.
Might add by that sign that not everybody is cheering for just one team here. Soviets have got a few spectators over, but nothing like the estimated 2,500 expected to go to Moscow for the 4 games there from Canada. Shots on goal in the first period, the Soviets outshot Canada 13-10. In the second, Canada outshot the Soviets 16-8. So 26-21 shots on goal favoring Team Canada as they come to center ice for the third period faceoff. Serge Bernier drives it back to Ляпкин ahead. Number 19, Shadrin, down the boards. Yakushev, the only goal scorer for the Soviets so far. Number 15 being bumped now by Poole. Gets the puck free to J.C. Tremblay. He's being harassed in behind the goal. Plays it around the board. Shadrin had a pass out, blocked by Whitey Stapleton. Stapleton now to Hoole on the right side. Across the Soviet line. Swings around Ляпкин, still has it. Centering pass, loose in there. Цыганков gave it back to him. And then it's recovered by the Soviet player Shadrin out to center ice and inside the line for number 15, Yakushev, and it's whistled down. An offside call at the Team Canada blue line. There he is, number 15, Alexander Yakushev, the top scorer in the last series for the Soviets, 7 goals and 4 assists. He got a goal tonight that for a moment looked as though it sparked his team to a more aggressive offensive effort against Team Canada. That's the only goal they have so far. 3-1 is the score. 9:24 remaining in the first half of this period. They will change ends the 10-minute mark, of course. Now here is number 8, Kapustin, getting it back to Vladimir Lutchenko. He's being watched by Mike Walton for Team Canada. Out to Maltsev. Walton poke checks him. Gets the puck to Paul Henderson, in turn taken away by Maltsev. Out to Kapustin. His pass for Kotov, broken out by Paul Henderson. Down the ice it goes. Kuznetsov gave it away to Henderson. Kotov smartly rode him off the puck and allows number 10, Maltsev, to take over. At the Team Canada line, drop pass. Poorly aimed for Kapustin. Freewheeling, wide open play now, rather loose at this stage, early in the final period. Here's Kapustin being ridden off by Schmier. Got it in front, though, and Chivers with a glove out will hold on. As Maltsev gets a little roughing up at the edge of the Team Canada crease. The third game is coming up in Winnipeg on Saturday afternoon. That'll be a 2 o'clock Eastern start. Here's Kapustin coming in on Schmier.
Watch Schmier finish the check. This is the key. Greetings. When you hear that thump, when the fella goes by the post, watch Schmier, reach for the puck, try to take him now, come up here. And the Russians know every time they handle a puck, that's what they're going to get. They'll be tiptoeing through the tulips.
Petrov in the faceoff gets a backhand shot, a rebound opportunity. He scores. It's in the goal. It is 3-2. That red light is on. The official has not stopped the play. The puck definitely went in. The red light went on. The play's going right on here. I can't understand it, Howard. The Soviets are protesting at the bench. The officials are totally confused, but play is going right on. Here is Bobby Hull now. They'll call him offside of the blue line and try to collect their thoughts. The officials now are being challenged by number 13, Boris Mikhailov, but unless my eyes were deceiving me, Howie, that puck was in and out.
Well, from up here, I'd have to say it was in on nothing else but the angle that it come out on. It had to hit the top of the net in behind and come straight down. But just a series of Canadian players again.
There it is.
Hit the crossbar. No, hit dead center in the net. Watch.
Right in the net and out again. The Soviets, the goal judge had the light on for a good 6 or 7 seconds. Here's a good look at it. That's in the net. No question about it, a goal for the USSR. But the officials who were earlier confused at a penalty shot, let play go on, have ignored this one.
Watch the middle netting that hangs down, waves back and forth.
No question about it. But can they, after the fact, allowing play to go on, not stopping it, they call an offside down here to stop play, allow a goal? On the evidence of the goal judge now? Apparently it is no goal. They do not have the benefit of our replay, and the score is going to remain 3-1. Well, can you top that one? Kolagan upset, understandably. But there is little he can do about it.
Well, these things happen in the game of hockey. I've seen quite a few go in that were not counted. And I've also seen goals that weren't in that were counted. It's just the rub of the green.
Well, that's a big one right there. Soviets persisting in their contention that it was in.
Well, it certainly did look like it. There's no doubt about it. It'll be interesting to get Jerry Cheever's observation after the game and the fellas that were on the ice.
There's Nikolai Ozerov, the Soviet commentator, and I wonder what he's telling the folks in Moscow right now.
Probably what you and I said, that from up here it looked like it was in.
His hand gestures tell us there's no doubt the puck was in the goal. There it is. Well inside. Happened so fast, Cheevers himself had no idea it was in. He thought it was a crossbar because came snapping out of there and play carried right on.
Our forwards get wheeling to the attack too soon, and when you do that, these Russians just...
Howie, excuse me. I think the Soviets, Kulagan, are going to pull their team here now. Kulagan has called them over. Team Canada is lined up for the face-off. He's gesturing with his hands to give us a goal, or we could only speculate, but he called his entire unit on the ice over to the bench. He will not allow this to go on until he gets some assurance that he's going to get a goal, but the officials have made their ruling. They're saying no. But the way he called them over, I thought maybe he's just going to pack it in right here. And these officials certainly are not taking charge, Howie, the way they might.
Would be interesting to know just what's going through the Russians' minds.
Well, we're going to have some time to wait. With the score, Canada 3 and the Soviets 1. This is Game 2 from Toronto.
Это банк, где люди составляют разницу.
Well, the great debate still goes on here at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Referee Brown being more than patient with Coach Kulagan.
Well, Brown was standing in perfect position to call it. And
let's see it again now. Here's another angle. That is in the goal. There's no question whatsoever. Top of the net, right out again.
Well, I would have to say that he's not getting the protection of the goal judge. If he went and asked the goal judge, and the goal judge again insisted that it was in the net, then I would say that would take the onus off of him. I believe the majority of the people in the building realized that it had to be in.
Well, it was. The red light was on. The officials did not even look at it. It was on for 6 or 7 seconds while play continued. Now the face-off of the center ice zone play has finally resumed. The Russians have lost the argument. They're hanging in there. Lacroix on the right side now against Petrov. Let's see what kind of reaction the Soviets have to that ruling. Here's Bobby Hull across the line. It is offside. McKenzie a step ahead of him on the right side. We are informed the goal judge told the referee the goal was not in, yet he put the light on for about 7 seconds. Now, here is a chance beside the Team Canada goal. Mikhailov to Harlamov to an open wing. Moving up on it now is Lee. Ahead to Hall. Long shot. That was offside. Kenzie again getting in just ahead of the play after Bobby Hull's shot. And we have 7:29 in a weird third period. First half of it remaining here at Maple Leaf Gardens.
I would think, Don, that across this great country of ours, there's many fine hockey players that have represented us and play in Europe, and particularly in Russia, and they've had goals called against them and penalties called against them that really hurt, and I think they're kind of sitting there thinking, well, over the long run, things even up.
In the long run, they usually do. That's right. Now here is Houle getting it back to Tremblay. Mahowicz fell in his own zone. Bernier tries to play it ahead, does. Gets it inside the line against number 19, Vladimir Shadrin. He recovers. Now in the center ice area, it's Pat Stapleton. Back to his defense partner, J.C. Tremblay, number 3. Stapleton ahead to Frank Mahowicz. Into the center zone for Rezhan Houle. Now Bernier carries on inside the line. Ляпкин gives it to Mahowicz. We're going to have a very late offside called. How the officials can be so easily criticized, but these fellows are really, really getting behind.
Well, he might have had his hand up, the fella here who called it for a slow whistle.
Face off outside the blue line. Bernier against Maltsev. Bernier wins that. Shoots it inside. Lutchenko to Kotov. Into the slot, coming down to Maltsev. Across the blue line. Swings around Tremblay, who falls. Stapleton to the corner. Mahowicz tipping it. Trapped by Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov's shot was blocked by Stapleton. Rebound on the stick of Rezhan Houle. Houle, the center ice for Team Canada. Had it taken away from him. Now it is J.C. Tremblay. Relay from Bernier to Stapleton. Too far from Mahowicz down the ice. He touched the puck. There'll be no icing there. Number 3, Vladimir Lutchenko for the USSR starting out. Score still 3-1. 6:15 to play in the first half of the third period. Chivers stopping it for Stapleton. Round to Paul Henderson. Tied up by Kuznetsov. And they freeze it for a faceoff. Team Canada has thrown 115 body checks, our game recorder tells us tonight.
Well, they'd better start throwing them again, because the last 2 shifts we've been sticking the stick out and skating by the Russian player, and there's no way in the world that we're going to tie this hockey game unless we get right back to taking the man.
The recorder shows on average they have been letting up in that area in the last few minutes. 6:06 to play in the first 10-minute portion of period 3. Team Canada 3, the USSR 1. Here's Schmier behind the goal, tied up by Petrov, goes down, hangs on for a faceoff. Don't forget, Game 3 Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time from the Winnipeg Arena. From Vancouver, Monday, the 4th game of this confrontation at 8 Eastern Time. And then overseas for games in Finland and Sweden, and then, of course, our televised coverage resumes out of Moscow beginning October the 1st. Now here is Paul Schmier heading up. Chased back by Petrov. Mikhailov gets it away from Rick Smith. McGregor blocked it. McGregor battling against the boards with Mikhailov, wins it. Out comes number 20, Bruce McGregor, now with the Edmonton Oilers, across the line. Passing it in front for Henderson. Oh, Tretchak just got back in time across the crease to make the save. Schmier off the plexiglass down to number 6, Vasiliev. Forechecking by McGregor wins it. Here's Mike Walton shooting, and Tretchak hung on, and that one hurt. That one hurt Tretchak.
Look at, yeah, come on. That Tretchak has to be something else. Look at, he realizes the only option is the shot. Well, here's the play. Look, back in the net and made the great save on Henderson. Now, Let's see if we can't get the shot. Look how deep he is. Back in the net and makes the great play in Henderson. Now, we should really try to get the shot if we possibly can of Walton. Well, we'll get that for you, just to show how he plays
hurt him, but he's hanging in there. Now flexing that left arm of his as his teammates go down the ice. It is Yakuşev across the line, dropping it back for Lebedev, and he shoots wide. Great drive by Lebedev. Tsygankov to Shadrin. Here's Ляпкин's shot. That is wide of the goal. Bounces around to an open zone to Ralph Bäckström. Back checking now. The Soviets coming on stronger here with 5 minutes to play in the first half of this period. Chopped out to center ice. Tsygankov as Bäckström charges him. Almost stole the puck. Gennady Tsygankov across the line. A weak shot. Chivers lost it, but hangs on. Went off one skate between his legs, and he had to hold it. Three to 1, Team Canada leading the USSR. First 3 goals scored by Canada. Bäckström, Lacroix, and Hull. And then it was Yakuşev, 13:09 of the second period, with the only Soviet goal that's gone on the board so far tonight. One of 2 that obviously went in. Here's Kuznetsov now, being hounded, lost the puck to Lacroix, comes back inside the Soviet zone, a motion by Lutchenko, then he carries it across the ice with a pass that is broken up by Bobby Hull. Shot deflected by Kuznetsov. Hull gets it back to McKenzie. McKenzie across the face for Lacroix. Could not quite get his stick on it. They spin in the corner, get turned around. Fans calling for a penalty on Kuznetsov. Play going on. Out to center ice. Lacroix chopping it down under pressure from Kuznetsov. Gets it away on the right side. Bobby Hull will wind up inside the line with a shot wide. Off the Soviet net at the back. It's caught on the mesh, and they will have a face-off. As Hull unloaded on Tretьяк. The Winnipeg game, even though it will be 2 o'clock Eastern time, of course, is 1 o'clock for you fans out in Winnipeg Central Time.
Watch Bobby Hull's shot here. It comes straight out, gets on the net. A little interesting confrontation right here. Watch the Russian stop and Johnny McKenzie come in. Went for the short side, but Tretьяк had it well covered.
Bobby scored on the far side from a few feet further in the first game in Quebec to give this team quite a lift. Right now it is Harlamov losing it in the center ice area. Schmier played it ahead. It is inside the Soviet line for Vasiliev. Fyodorov is on now, making one of his rare appearances on defense for the Soviet Union, a new defenseman. Lead pass out to Frank Mаховлич with Bernier. Mаховлич had to wait for it. Finally clears it inside the Soviet zone. 3.5 minutes left in the first 10-minute section of this third period. Harlamov swings away from Bernier inside the Team Canada line. Over for Fyodorov on the left side. Setting, shooting, block, loose in front, shot wide. Fyodorov around in front of the goal. And they drop on it right there. Schmier ahead of Chivers to hang on. I'll tell you, Paul Schmier, who took some needless runs for penalties the other night, has been a very solid game, I think, Howie.
I would say if I had to pick a defenseman, he and Selwood have played extremely well. I think what you have to watch here is the Canadians, look, we're reaching for the puck, see? Not the man, reaching for the puck. All the way through this whole series and prior to it, we have fellas going out of position, chasing the puck, not taking the man. And I would think it's perhaps a sign of being a little tired.
Here's a lead pass for Henderson, a bit too far. Goes right down to Tretьяк's doorstep. Number 5, Ляпкин, will play one right back, just wide of Chivers. There is no icing called on it. In the corner is Selwood tying up the Soviet attacker, gets help from McGregor, and they force a face-off with 2:59 to play in the first 10-minute period of the third period.
For the first time this evening, that Russian team is starting to look like a hockey club.
They appear to be gaining composure as this period wears on. They're 2 goals down. Here is Shadrin winning the draw, getting it back to Tsygankov. His hard drive goes wide of Jerry Cheever's goal. Yakuşev gets it across to Tsygankov again. Turned around by McGregor. The relay on the left side. Loose in front. Cleared by Chivers. Soviets still have it. Lebedev, number 11. Tsygankov from the point. Booming shot. Was blocked by Mike Walton, number 4. Lebedev a second chance. All around the goal. Lebedev beside the net. Forced in behind. Still has the puck. Gets it up to Ляпкин. He fanned on it. Now it breaks for Mike Walton. Walton with a break down the right side around Цыганков. Cannot get a shot away. It does go wide finally. And Ляпкин, number 5, comes back for the USSR as Team Canada will change on the exchange. Here's Lebedev with Shadrin inside the line. Across to Yakушев. Down to the corner, being watched in there by Stapleton. Falls on top of him, gets the puck, and then holds it. Smart move by Whitey Stapleton as the Team Canada club was changing as the Soviets swept across the blue line.
Rick Ley a few moments ago took a Russian player out beside the net the way it should be done. A lot of people were really worried about the caliber of the Team Canada defensemen, but gee whiz, they're playing extremely well.
They certainly have surprised everybody, and perhaps there was no need for us to be surprised. Solid veteran professional hockey defenseman. Now Maltsev tries to get it across to Kotov. That's broken up on the right side by McKenzie. Swings inside the Soviet line. McKenzie tries to pass it out to Hull. It's behind Trombley, heading back to his defense post. He did not see it. Maltsev, number 10, at the Team Canada line. Leaves it there for Kapustin. His shot, booming, goes wide. In behind is Chivers, out of the goal. Back on the point to Kuznetsov. Took lots of time. Chivers back in. Here's Kapustin in front for Kotov. A rebound right there. Oh, it swings by as Maltsev could not get a direct shot on goal. Swung him around the goal. Trombley defending with Stapleton. Now here is number 8, Kapustin, coming out as the Soviets gain momentum. He goes for a tumble. Trombley gets it out too far for Bobby Hull. The Soviets coming on stronger now with a little over a minute left in the first 10-minute portion of the third period. 3-1 for Team Canada. Here is Kapustin, number 8. He's been strong down the right side. Feeds it across, gets it back, shoots wide. And Chivers got bumped by a Soviet player sailing through the goal crease, Petrov. Now here's number 21, Bernier, for Team Canada. Being checked from behind by Petrov. Finally lost the puck. It's over to Kotov, number 29. Out for Valery Harlamov. Down the right side. Swings inside the line. Gets around Schmier. Drops it in front. Right there at the side. Off the side of the goal goes Petrov's shot. Tied up in behind by Rick Smith. By Houle. But the Soviets keep the pressure on. Now here's a clearing pass for Mаховлич. Out to Serge Bernier. Rezhan Houle off his leg. Down to the Soviet corner. Fyodorov watches them there. They pile up. Vasiliev moves in. There'll be a face-off as Bernier takes a couple of swats at the Soviet player.
I would think Coach Kolganin certainly talked to the Russian players between the second and third period, and I see more evidence now that they're finishing the check and they're taking dead aim on red jerseys.
I think that close call on the second goal, which they thought they deserved, has inspired them and made them more determined. They played better hockey ever since that point, Howie. They still trail by 2 at 3-1 with 14 seconds left until they will change ends for the balance of this third period. 10:14 left in the period. Here is Walton on the draw. Back for Bruce McGregor, and it goes into the crowd. 11 seconds remaining now. Be anxious to hear how Mr. Kulagin talks to the press after the game at his press conference. Both coaches will talk to the press with respect to that goal that appeared to be in. Now here is number 18, Schmier, back in his own zone, covering up with a pass for Henderson. He got turned around. It's loose in there. Petrov across to Harlamov, and that is all. Play has stopped for the 10-minute change of ends here in the final period. With the score, Canada 3 and the Soviets 1. This is Game 2 from Toronto.
This is the hindsight mirror. No hands needed. It stays in any position for viewing the back, sides, and even the top of your head. And it's great for close-ups. The whole family will love hindsight. Hindsight is always handy, but never in the way. It folds neatly against your wall. You'll love it. Ask for hindsight. Only $7.77 in decorator colors. $7.77 in decorator colors.
Available at leading department stores.
Don Chevrier with Howie Meeker at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Billy Harris has his team 2 goals up with 10 minutes of the second game of the '74 Soviet-Canada series still to be played. And the Soviets are not out of this one yet. Ralph Backstrom shot the puck on the faceoff down to the blue line. Bruce McGregor. Henderson sweeping in, shoots. Oh, robbed him again. Coming out to cut down the angle on Paul Henderson. Now here is Stapleton, right in front. Relay was tipped and blocked by Tretchak. Right off the stick of Bruce McGregor in front of the Soviet goal. Early pressure here from the faceoff by the Canadian team. Alexander Yakushev at the Team Canada line. Had it taken away by Tremblay, kept in by Ляпкин. Down to the corner to Yakushev. With Lebedev in behind, bumped by Pat Stapleton. Now J.C. Tremblay has it. And then has it taken away, tied up by two Soviet players. A pass for Yakushev, intercepted smartly and cleared away by Bruce McGregor to center ice. Walton has it drift off his stick, and back out to center ice they come, shooting it into the crowd of the Team Canada bench with 9:06 to play in the hockey game.
Here's a great pass, but certainly watch Tretchak right here when he realizes that Team Canada player is going to shoot. There's a defenseman just leaving the front of the net unprotected. Watch Tretchak. There you see him back in the circle. Now look at here. Look at him come out. Stand up and come out.
Beautiful.
He's a goalie.
The Soviet media here have announced they'll present a gold medallion award to the most gentlemanly player after the 4 games in Canada. We'll have the winner for you after our game in Vancouver on Monday. Pass too far for Bobby Hull. McKenzie shoots it in. Tretchak comes out to stop it in behind. Leaves the puck for Kuznetsov, who gets it up for Kapustin. Relayed down the ice. Icing has been waved off. Chivers will handle it there and leave it for Paul Schmier, who's had a lot of ice time tonight. He's played exceedingly well, number 18. Schmier of the Cleveland Crusaders. Now Lacroix having trouble against the Soviet defenseman Kuznetsov. Into the boards they go. Bobby Hull on the far side. They'll tie it up. Kuznetsov gets a stick up high against Lacroix, and Schmier is all too eager to help out. (3-1) for Canada. 8:27 to play in the final period. Very warm here in Maple Leaf Gardens tonight. I understand tickets were being offered for in excess of $100 a pair just before this game. Indicative of the tremendous interest in this 1974 Team Canada Soviet series. Gary Chivers strong in goal for the Canadian team. As it skipped by his stick in behind the goal. Played ahead now by Bernier out to center ice. Backstrom always hustling, looking for that puck, just missed it. Now a relay is broken up by Bernier. Here's Backstrom sweeping in center ice. He got turned around, kicked it back to Tremblay. Now Stapleton. Now on the left side, here's Markow getting it down to Backstrom in front for Bernier. Oh, shot wide, just wide of the Soviet goal. Markow shoots, and a great save again by Vladislav Tretchak from behind the goal. Backstrom got taken down by Kuznetsov. A clearing pass in front of the goal. Loose for Markow, still loose. Kuznetsov sweeps it off to one side. Great action again around Tretchak, the Soviet goalie. Bodanov out there now. He has not seen much ice time. Gets a shot directly on Jerry Chivers. Stapleton drifts it up to center ice. Lutchenko intercepts it there and gives the puck away to Stapleton, waiting for Bernier to get onside, and then lost it inside the blue line to Maltsev. 7:15 to play in the game. 3-1 for Canada here at Maple Leaf Gardens. Number 19, Vladimir Shadrin now moves up for the Soviet Union. Bodied partially across along the boards by Markow. Howe and Shadrin tie up again. Howe lost the puck there to Mikhailov. Back on the point, the shot. Vasiliev, rebound from Maltsev. Right in front, the relay. It's still loose, and Chivers finally holds it. A dangerous Soviet thrust right there.
Hey, look, we want you to just take a look at this. How about that great save? That Chivers is something else. 2 in a row. Got to be a story of goaltenders tonight, isn't it?
certainly has. I don't see how you can go any other way in terms of choosing outstanding players. Tretchak, I felt, should have been named the other night as the outstanding Soviet player. He saved the tie for them. That went to Harlamov instead, who got 1 goal. But tonight there should be no doubt, certainly, about Tretchak and possibly Chivers, too. Now here's Petrov on the faceoff. Schmier lost it. Mikhailov back to Petrov. Gets tangled up in legs, finally out over the blue line. Henderson's pass for McGregor was broken up. The Soviets are coming on strong here. Harlamov got taken down. There's going to be a penalty against Rick Smith. And the pressure now can be expected to mount. 6:37 to play in the game as Smith will go to the penalty box.
Take a look at the penalty right here. It's a pretty good hook. It's the hand up in high. I think the Russian played it pretty smart, too.
Canada penalty to number 17, Rick Smith. 2 minutes for holding. The time, 13:23.
You kind of expect top-notch effort from Stapleton and Tremblay, but Rick Smith and Schmier and Rick Lee and Selwood have played just extremely well.
No way you can fault this Team Canada defense corps, Howie. And now to attempt to kill off the penalty. They're going to send out their 2 top defensemen getting a lot of ice time, Stapleton and Tremblay, with McGregor up front with Paul Henderson. Whitey Stapleton. Harlamov watched him as he got it out over the blue line for Paul Henderson. Henderson against the boards with Vasiliev, and Harlamov comes in to take over. Valeri Harlamov. Stapleton way up there forechecking him. Forced the play right back into the Soviet zone. Fyodorov, number 4, having trouble with McGregor. J.C. Tremblay takes over, feeds it across to Stapleton, just away from an on-rushing number 16, Petrov. Here is Mikhailov, 13, inside the line, dropping it back. The shot is wide. Into the corner goes Harlamov, tied up by Henderson. Henderson trying to win a faceoff is alone there, and they whistle it down as Harlamov moved in. 1:11 left in Smith's penalty, 5:48 remaining in the game. 3-1, Team Canada. Wherever you are across the country and our viewers in the United States, we certainly hope you're enjoying this, the second game of the 1974 Hockey Summit Series. Game 3 from Winnipeg, 1 Winnipeg time, 2 Eastern time on Saturday afternoon. Big hand for Pat Stapleton now as he comes over to the Team Canada bench. He's not going off, just going to talk with Billy Harris and resume the tremendous ice time that he has put in on behalf of this team tonight. On the face-off, Shadrin had it go across to Tremblay. Now Stapleton breaks out ahead of him, just feeds it down the ice slowly with now a minute left in Rick Smith's penalty. Soviets forming up with Shadrin ahead to Lebedev. Across to Yakashev. Lebedev inside the blue line. Right wing pass for Shadrin. Glove to the corner by Shadrin. That's turned around there by Markow. It's shot down the ice. Now 40 seconds remaining in the penalty. Yakashev. Gives the puck to Shadrin. With Lebedev and Yakashev inside the line, and the pass back just trapped in time by Lutchenko. Markow came sliding out, could not win the puck. Number 3, Vladimir Lutchenko winding up. It's loose and shot to the corner on the boards by Stapleton. Soviets with a power play on. Tsygankov, Lutchenko, cross to the far side. Yakashev shot, rebound, and Chivers will hold it. We have 6 seconds left in the Smith penalty and 4:43 in the game. An important face-off coming up here. And of the 81 face-offs tonight, Team Canada is 150.
Here's the box, and here's the real good discipline by Team Canada. They just don't come out far enough, quick enough. But that's the fella they try to work open, and see them sneak number 11 in to try to move the Team Canada defenseman out of that corner.
Gordie Howe is back from the hospital after his x-rays. And we hope that they certainly proved negative in terms of any damage to the great number 9, that we'll see him in future games in this series. Here's Stapleton gulping it off the boards down the ice. That will kill the penalty. Out of the box comes Rick Smith. Team Canada back at full strength. They now change on the go. They relieve those two tired defensemen, Tremblay and Stapleton. Now Bodanoff inside the line. Batted away by Lacroix. Still at the Team Canada line. Shot up to center ice now by Bobby Hull. Left the puck there for Maltsev. Maltsev inside the line, shooting. Blocked by Paul Schmier. In behind the goal, Chivers will trap it. 4:12 left.
Look at that Hull finish the check. I don't think he's checked like this in his career. Every time I look at the Russian face against the boards, it's number 16, Bobby Hull, that's taken him in. He's just been tremendous.
Well, you think of Bobby Hull as a great scorer, but you see him play in this series, you appreciate what a fine all-around hockey player he really is. He's playing, mind you, with a knee he injured about 10 days ago that is not quite right yet. Now here is Schmier sending it up into the center ice area, having it again at his own blue line, getting it over now to Johnny McKenzie. McKenzie ahead for Hull. It is whistled down. There's going to be a penalty call. Rick Smith, or Lacroix, is calling for a 5-minute major. He's indicating blood to the official.
Well, Kuznetsov just two-handed him right across the head. Lacroix took him into the boards, and as Kuznetsov spun off the boards, he just cut him right across the top of the head with a stick.
Well, is it 2 or is it 5 minutes for drawing blood? We don't know yet, but the Soviet player is going to go to the penalty box and give Team Canada the manpower advantage now with 3:56 to play in the game.
Yes, and just kill the 2 minutes. We don't need another one. Just tremendous to sit up here and watch these fellas represent hockey and
2 minutes
represent
for
Canada
high sticking.
and just work so hard.
16:04.
Gives you tremendous pride.
Maltsev is penalized for high sticking. Little under 4 minutes left now. The Soviets in a desperate situation, trailing by 2, a man short. They play it down the ice. Pat Stapleton, who's killed penalties, gone with Team Canada power plays, seen regular service, had an all-around fine night. Now swings out, being harassed from behind. He's taken down. No penalty is called. McKenzie behind the goal, centers it out. The shot just wide by Bobby Hull. Good, strong wrist shot by Hull, missed the mark. Back to Tremblay, across to Stapleton. Stapleton shot. Tretchak handles that. Hull played it across. Lacroix could not relay it. Behind the goal now for Lacroix, number 7. Waiting for his chance. Back to Tremblay. Over to Stapleton. Down to Bobby Hull. Lacroix's in front. But it comes back to Stapleton. Hull again. Waiting. Shooting it across the goal mouth. Back to J.C. Tremblay. His shot deflected. He scores! Off Lacroix and into the goal.
You know, everybody says, why don't we shoot the puck? Shoot the puck, shoot the puck. That's one thing in 12 years I heard more than anything else. Shoot the puck. It has to go in. If you get it at the net, there's so many things can happen.
Howie, this one off the Soviet defenseman, I believe, Kuznetsov. Let's watch, number 12.
Sure did. Hit his stick right there. Poor Tretchak had an eye, beat on it, had to shift gears and couldn't get back.
We've had 4 goals scored during penalties in this series so far. That was the 4th. And it's 4-1 for Team Canada with 2:57 remaining. People are happy in the gardens and happy across Canada, I'm sure.
Lacroix.
They give it to Lacroix.
Assist, number 16, Bobby Hull.
The Russians might take
And number 3, J.C.
out of
Tremblay.
our book. I mean, we shoot the puck.
Tremblay and Hull at 17:03 get the assist. Lacroix is waving at the official saying, I did not score the goal, it was Hull. They may change it, they should change it later. Here is Harlamov now with 2 minutes and 45 seconds to play. His team down 4-1. Up to the center ice area. Petrov inside the line. Chivers puts the stick out. It goes to the corner. Houle ties up. Mikhailov in there for a face-off. And they're going to correct that goal.
J.C. Tremblay.
Tremblay will get it.
Assist, number 7, Andre Lacroix. And number 16, Bobby Hull.
It was Tremblay's shot, of course, that was redirected into the goal by the Soviet player Kuznetsov. typical of Lacroix, not wanting to take advantage, or the assumption that he might have touched the puck, promptly told the official, no, I did not. It is Tremblay's goal. Now here's Petrov to Mikhailov at 2:15 to play. Into the corner for Serge Bernier, the big center from the Quebec Nordiques. He and Rick Smith in there against Petrov, and there'll be a face-off. 2:09 left now, and there's J.C. Tremblay.
That Schmier just gave Mikhailov a pretty good going over just off the left side of the net. Golly, he's played well tonight.
Howie, strange coincidence, with 2:09 left, the score reads the same as the final score the last time in 1972 here in Toronto, 4-1 for Team Canada.
Well, I feel like the weight of the world's been taken off my shoulders. Never so happy to see a goal go in.
It took a tremendous amount of pressure off this Canadian team because the Soviets were pressing. And now they must catch up in a hurry. It's an almost impossible task with just 2 minutes left now. Stapleton shovels it across the blue line. Tsygankov away from Mike Walton. Now checked by Walton, who did a great job of hanging in there. Henderson comes in to help out. In behind the goal, Lutchenko goes down. Tsygankov gets it up on the right boards, and again, Henderson is swirling and checking and attacking as he has all throughout this game. Now here's number 19, Shadrin, leaving it for Lebedev. Lebedev hounded by Bruce McGregor, the right winger. Up to center ice finally for Yakушев with Shadrin. Just missed a check from Stapleton. Hangs onto the puck inside the line. Still in Soviet control. Here's Lutchenko trying to backhand it down. It's shot out by Pat Stapleton with 1 minute and 15 seconds to play. Team Canada 4 and the USSR 1. Lebedev. Cross the line. Into the corner away from Tremblay. Centers it out. McGregor intercepts. There's going to be a penalty. I think the infraction was on Lebedev as he swung around the net and took a bit of a chop from J.C. Tremblay. And it should be a slashing call.
I kind of think maybe when Lebedev made the deke out here close to the blue line, J.C.'s stick come up and caught him high in the face.
Here he is coming across the line.
Now watch his stick. Got him kind of high.
High sticky. He brought it up in there. Gave him a chop in the corner later on, too.
Yeah.
Now here's number 3, Lutchenko.
For good measure.
With only 50 seconds remaining, and Backstrom forward checking tenaciously in there to win a face-off in the Soviet zone. And listen to the applause. You just can't help being a fan of this team, can you, Howie?
Sure can't. Class all the way. You know they're dying out there, but look at them dig.
Bodunov, number 24, on the left side, gets it across to Anison. He's been used sparingly in this game. Kuznetsov, center ice as Matsev fell, then recovered. Soviets quite disorganized now. Only 25 seconds to play. This crowd may count them down soon. Here's Backstrom coming back as the Soviet player comes across the line. Kuznetsov, it is offside. The pass to Bodunov, and we have only 18 seconds left. That applause you hear from the Gardens fans and from Howie Meeker sitting right next to me. The line of Hall, Lacroix, and McKenzie, they got 7 points. In the first game, 7 points in this game. A super performance, 14 points of the series so far. Now the puck down behind the Soviet goal. This crowd here is going to give them a standing ovation at the finish. We're down to the final 10 seconds of play now. At center ice, Bobby Hull with the puck, trying to kill this penalty off. 3 seconds left now. Comes out to center ice. They stopped it at 3 seconds for a face-off. A happy, happy crowd at Maple Leaf Gardens, and I'm sure millions of happy viewers across the country as Team Canada is 3 seconds away from a victory following an opening game tie in this 8-game series. 2 seconds, 1 second, it's over. Team Canada beats the USSR 4-1 in a great performance here tonight. Hope you've enjoyed it. With the final score, Canada 4 and the Soviets 1. This is Game 2 from Toronto.
New this year, the Canadian division of the WHA. Yes, the Quebec Nordiques, Toronto Toros, Winnipeg Jets, Edmonton Oilers, and Vancouver Blazers will provide a new dimension to Canada's traditional rivalries. You'll watch superstars like Gordie Howe, Frank Mahowlich and Paul Henderson, Rejan Houle, Johnny McKenzie and Bobby Hull. For season tickets, call your local team office. It's going to be a great hockey year in the WHA. Make sure that you're a part of it.
For 4 million years, the survival of mankind was more pressing than his numbers. Now his numbers have become the prime element of survival. Elements of Survival considers his numbers, his food, and his social institutions.
The hard facts about world food supplies are probed on Elements of Survival, Act 2, Food, Sunday night on CBC.
A standing ovation as Team Canada leaves the ice at Maple Leaf Gardens, 4-1 victors over the national team, the Olympic champions, the world amateur champions from the USSR. And in just a moment, we will have the outstanding players as judged by a panel of sports writers and broadcasters.
Ladies and gentlemen,
at this game tonight.
a
And
panel
here it
of
is.
Canadian and Soviet sports writers and broadcasters have selected the 2 most valuable players of this game, who will receive the new prestige set of the second series of Olympic coins just released for sale this week. Making the presentation will be the Honorable Bryce Mackesy, the Postmaster General. The most valuable player for the Soviets, Vladislav Tretьяк. And now the most valuable player for the Canadian team, Jerry Chivers.
Igor Cherekov is our interpreter. We'd like to talk to Vladislav Tretьяк for a moment. I wonder if you would ask Vladislav exactly what his thoughts were on the Mike Walton penalty shot. That was on the penalty shot.
Как штрафной удар выдержал?
Как? Он очень примитивно действовал.
He said that the shot was made very primitively.
Я
It was
выкатил,
a very
что
primitive
он
shot.
бросил, и никаких у него ложных моментов не было.
He didn't try even to sort of make a foul move or something, and he shot straight.
That surprised him, did it?
Это тебя удивило, простота и примитивность.
Я думал, что у них будет бить такой более техничный, а это просто как-то...
He expected it to be a more complicated shot, but it was very primitive. That's right.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, sir. Right. Jerry Chivers. Jerry Chivers, if you keep going like this, there's no way you're going to get a rest.
Well, I don't know, at times, you sort of get up for games like this, you know, that's part of the battle, getting up. I'm awful tired. This halfway through September, we played 2 games in 4 nights. It's tired.
What was the toughest penalty? It had to be the third, I guess, huh?
I don't know. Oh, the toughest period, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think when you're only up by 2, I'd rather be up by 1 goal or 3 or 4 goals, not 2. For some reason, you know, if they get a goal, it gives them some momentum to come back. But I was just, listen, they try to knock our defense, and they're just super, boy. Believe me, they're playing so good. I'm seeing most of the shots and everything like that. I think it's going to be a super series.
Strange, that's the department that everybody thought was going to be the weakest, isn't it?
I think so. But, you know, they underestimate guys like Paul Schmier and Rick Smith. They're just super, super hockey players, boy. And people